Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me here today on this Friday. What is it? Oh my god, is it already July 10th? Who we got floating around in chat here? Cisco, Connor, Nord, BMX. Oh my gosh, Rangda, Ring, Delta, thank you for joining me. Puppet, Wolf, Morlock, geez. Nice to see all you guys. I am the evil twin of Pillandary. That's a fact. One day I'll hunt him down, and we'll have the showdown that was always destined. Joe Bob, how you doing? And Liukadar, hello. Am I pronouncing that correctly? I try to get those right. Hello, everybody. I hope, funnily enough, I was just writing the script for my Alt Sky review. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Hey, Delta, how you doing? I'm always very flattered whenever people speak about their positive experiences with the current iteration of Ultimate Skyrim, right? But, as you guys might imagine, in my head, there's so many different things that I would like to do. Oh, yeah, 0 out of 10, no jiggle physics. I think that's inarguable. So many different things that I would like to do, and I think that's the metric by which I judge it myself. I'm like, it's fun, but it's not this yet. But I imagine that's just par for the course. Okay, so today, I mean, to be honest with you guys, everything I've been working on lately is conflict resolution. I don't know if that's tremendously interesting to you guys, but we can dig in and I can show you, what I've been working on. It's not perfect, therefore bad. I do the same thing with shit I do. It's the perfectionism kick. I think it's common to a lot of people. At its core, I think it's a fear of vulnerability thing, at least for me. It's like, putting something out into the world that's not quote unquote perfect is a scary prospect. I think the desire to have it perfect comes from, wanting to not shield yourself from criticism, but prevent undue criticism, so to speak, by having it look exactly as you picture in your head or whatever. Of course, it's kind of a smoke and mirrors trick because there's no such thing as perfect. Can I conflict resolution your life? I wish, Puppet Man. If I figured out how to do that, I'd apply it to myself and I'd share all the tricks with all of you guys. I'll use some more conflict resolution in our lives. Good enough rarely is. Just got here, I already feel attacked. Nothing I do is good enough to me. I think it's a common problem. Anyone who cares about the stuff that they're making, it's just... everyone deals with it, I think. Maybe not everybody. It's a certain type of personality, but in my personal experience, there's far more people that I know, anecdotally, who suffer from elements of that perfectionism than don't, you know what I mean? It's just kind of part of the process of being a creator of any kind. I think that you learn over time to manage it better. That's how it seems from a lot of the stuff that I've read, right? That over time, as you get older and as you have more experience under your belt as a creator, you learn to manage expectations better externally and internally, and perhaps you're not ideally so hard on yourself. Although it's no one's immune to it, even, accomplished and experienced creators. I hate going to the lab after my software releases. Why is that? Positive comment, guy. That beard is perfect. Oh, thank you, Connor. This is more honestly like what my beard looks like most of the time. Sometimes I've been shaving it off for funsies. Actually just shaved off Arthur Morgan's beard in Red Dead Redemption because I did a mission where I had to be, all prim and proper, but I was trying to grow it out as long as it'll go. Finally made it to a stream. How's it going, BB? It's very good, agreed. We're looking at some conflict resolution. Anecdotally, I don't know anyone that doesn't feel like that in some aspect of what they do. Totally. Something hard to overcome. How's 4th of July? It was really fun. Thank you for asking. It was really nice to... This is kind of the first time that Liz and I had gotten out of town in any respect since quarantine. And even that, there's a certain degree of anxiety, I think, that is accompanied by, at least for us, for breaking quarantine in any way, shape, or form. I tried to do it as cleanly as possible. We all got coronavirus tested, you know, us and the people that we were visiting, and it ended up being a really fun trip. Liz's friend, her family just owns this like cattle ranch in like Oregon, and it's just really fucking cool. Like they're like straight up like ranchers, you know what I mean? Like classic rustic cabin homestead living, and it's pretty different from my typical day to day. So it was really fun. We got to like ride horses and fire 20 gauge shotguns at clay pigeons. That was really fun. I'm pretty what you might call philosophically opposed to guns, or at least like the mass production of guns, or like the military industrial complex. But with that said, I do challenge anyone to, you know, fire a 20 gauge at clay pigeons and not find it at least a little satisfying. You know what I mean? Playoff beard, very manly. It's very true. How come hockey players can grow actual beards and baseball players grow like weird, sparse, gross beards? The only thing I'm quarantining from is those 5G waves. Oh, hell yeah. We should resolve conflicts with swords like real men, totally. It's, I was joking about that with a friend of mine, actually, in response to, you know, what we were talking about, like, the trip. And I said that to him, where it's just like, what, let's go back to it like a feudal society where swords are kind of like the main thing that everyone uses. Just like way less loss of life, right? Like if you gotta kill each other. The problem is like our technology is too sufficiently advanced now to where we're never going back. A gun is so much more effective than a sword. So it ain't happening. Not for the moment anyway. You guys want to see something cool? Let's see here. Yeah, better at resolving conflicts with Xedit. That's how we'll wage all wars in the future. Xedit. Edits back and forth. So you guys remember AltSky ESP? I believe it was the very end of the last stream that we had formed AltSky ESP for like the first time, or gave it the first edit. So it's not huge yet, but it's getting there. Have you ever heard of the mod Bells of Skyrim? Yes, I have. I would very much like to add it, and it might be in my download pile. It's not installed at the moment, but I do really like the concept. I especially like the practical ability to ring the bell and get everyone the hell out of dodge when dragons attack and things like that. But there's, generally speaking, that's less of a problem with like AI overhaul, and even Requiem has stuff for that. But I would very much like to add that, Wolf. Some people think they can outsmart me. I've yet to meet one that can outsmart Bullet. Miami Nights, how you doing, my friend? Nothing much new here. I'm just gonna dig through. We actually have something that we can do that's productive. Where I thought I wrote it down. I actually have a notepad here. So one of the most recent thing that I've been doing is moving through. I moved through all of these guys up to here, and so now I'm on the. I try to start with the heaviest edits, and generally speaking, those are towards the top because they're masters or ESP flag masters. So U-Sleep is pretty big, as you can see. There's a lot of records to resolve here and to check out. And right now, I am down to NPCs. So you can see, here's what we got in the AltSky ESP. So there's a lot of armor, sort of a lot of armor. A couple books. Most are cell edits that are most of the records in the Ultimate Skyrim plugin are cell edits. There's a lot of these, and there will be more, but this is just the ones that are showing up here are the ones that, you know, U-Sleep had something to do with. Chat is impossible to see on stream. Oh, that makes sense. See, that's why you don't use light mode, guys. Here, I have an idea. Why don't let me see if there's an easy way to create like a little color source. What I need is like a drop shadow for, okay, for the text. Oh, look, perfect. Can I select the opacity of this? Probably. Here, let's make that nice and tiny. I'm going to take this. And come on, there's got to be a way to set. Let's see, properties. Really? No edit transform, maybe? Position, rotation, size. Nope, that's all just... Huh. Sad. I thought I was just going to make like a nice little semi-opaque like shadow underneath. Well, here. In the meantime, I'm going to get rid of this. And then I will bring back the dreaded dark mode for the stream. Let's go dark, carbon. Wow. Would you look at that? This is the only thing that I've not been using dark mode for is Xedit, right? Because apparently, according to my team, it's so much more functional this way, or less functional rather. But, oh yeah, Finn, there's a million ways that I could do. I mean, like, the simplest way to do it would just be to create the thing in Photoshop and then bop it in there. Oh, I got Stream Elements as well. I actually don't prefer Stream Elements to Streamlabs for a couple reasons. There are some things that I use that are Stream Elements, but specifically because, like, what I actually prefer more than anything, for any streamers out there, I just like doing everything manually in OBS, to be honest with you. I don't like using, like, overlay tools. I think they're really cool. I think that they're, like, a good, it's a good way, like a simple way to kind of get all your stuff in place. I mean, whether you're using Streamlabs overlays or Stream Elements, either way, I think it's very solid. I prefer the granular control that doing things manually gives me, and I've been doing it for long enough to where it's all kind of like second nature anyway. Use Stream Elements because Streamlabs scams donators. Oh, well, that's not good. In what way do they scam donators? Ring. I think my stream donations are Streamlabs, I'm pretty sure. I would hate to hear it, but yeah, so you can see, cell edits are really fun because they're all, at least for these, the ones that I was doing, they're almost all exactly the same. What we're getting here, or in here, let's see if we can find a good example. So, generally speaking, these ones that were doing, they trick donators into subscribing to their Prime bullshit. I did see that, and they almost got me too, where it's like, add a GIF. I'm like, okay, like, I'd love to add a GIF. And then, if you add a GIF, you're, subbing to a Streamlabs thing. Which, I saw a Streamlabs response where they were like, oh, we don't want our users not to understand what they're buying into, so we'll make sure we fix that. Hey, Prince Wolf, how you doing? But to me, I'm like, that is such an obvious thing. Right, like years ago, that's not surprising to me. Years ago, they said they make it clear, they haven't. It seems to me like it's totally intentionally designed that way to try and, like, trick people into buying Prime, which, it's not good. It's not a good way to conduct business, I think, when any of your customers are being tricked into using their services. And it's such an easy fix, too, that if they've been doing it for years, it's no bueno. Very scummy. Anyway. So these cell edits, you can see here, in literally all we're forwarding from most of these is the lack of fog from remove interior fog, and whatever the soundscape is, the acoustic space as it's called, from Sounds of Skyrim. So for the most part, going through there's a ton of these edits, but they're fairly, like, simple, right? The thing is, like, if you're going through them in Usleep, there's a lot of them that you got to go through. Like, I'll show you guys what it's like to work on this stuff. So you'll, start at the beginning. Block 0, you got a bunch of these sub-blocks, you open this up, and basically you just go through every single one of these records. You see if they're conflicting. You see how and why, like, what's going on here. We got, okay, so these are mad that I don't have the fog. This is an interesting one. It's a little bit more complex than your average because you got color data, you got location that has to be forwarded, you got your acoustic space, music, and your image space. it goes faster after. Like, sometimes I look at this stuff and I think about what it would have looked like to me when I first started, however many years ago, and you don't know what any of it does, and you look at all of it and it all looks very complex, and you just don't know what any of it is, so it can all be anything, right? Now, I know what all this stuff is. It's so much easier to look at stuff at a glance, and it's almost like, it reminds me of there's a quote in Skyrim in one of the load screens. It's a quote from a book, and it's about spell casting, and it talks about how study is all well and good, but like when you're past a certain point, you just kind of know things, and it's very dangerous because you can think that you know something and you don't, and then you end up not doing your due diligence. But it's like with anything where you've spent however many hours and you've seen so many different things, you've seen every instance of kind of how things can unfold. You just start to move faster. You know what I mean? What do we got? They have an automated way to cancel the sub. Yes, they definitely know then. Hey, Whisper, how you doing? The thing I like Streamlabs for is the selective recording. You mean selective recording ring? Whisper, my friends are special people who won't play modded Skyrim. I failed in turning them to the light side. And to be fair, it sucks, right? Like, it sucks a lot sometimes to get all your... Or it's really fun to look for mods and to think about this grand game that you're going to get to play. Of course, when you add enough in, it doesn't work like that. And then you get to start, figuring out how to really mod, you know what I mean? Hazard, you can unwrap. Yes, I do know that you can unwrap sub-records with the Alt key, but usually I go through one by one because that's how I progress check, so to speak, or I make sure that I've not missed anything, as I just go like this. Like, if I unwrap all the records with Alt, then oof, I don't know which ones I've done thus far. Looks like Excel Simulator. It is Excel Simulator, Ring. That is the vast majority of the work that I do is in Xedit, and it is basically Excel Simulator, because at the end of the day, arguably the most important function of Ultimate Skyrim is to serve as a giant compatibility patch, right? Like, we add more proprietary features as things go along, and we've got really fun plans for more, but the big thing, the thing that no one wants to do, is conflict resolve hundreds of mods together, and there's really no better tool for that than Xedit. Which means you look at something like this for a very, very long time. Sometimes it's cool, it's funny. Like, sometimes, so like these kind of edits, right, that I'm talking about, they're very rote. Like, once you kind of figure out the edits that you're making for like these, it's the same thing over and over, right? Which can be boring. It can also be satisfying in a zen sort of way. There's something nice about when you encounter like a chunk of edits and you're like, okay, I'm gonna have to do the same thing over and over again for a while, like at least a few hours. You just kind of, I don't know, you go into like this mode where it's almost nice. You just don't have to think that hard. You just have to do the work, and you just got to log the hours and keep it going. So it depends on the mood that I'm in. Sometimes I find it really fun. Other times I find it less fun. And then other times you'll come along and you'll have more complex edits to do. Or say like this one. This is not complex, but like you'll see things like this. You have to know what you're doing, sort of. Like, this one I've looked at, but this is an instance where you have a conflict in that relighting Skyrim is conflicting with, you sleep. It's not you sleep anymore. It's USEP. And you actually don't want USEP's changes to forward through because you want relighting Skyrim to take it. Random question. Do you ever check out the mod Whiterun Battle Brothers? Yes, Miami Nights. I saw that one when it came out. And I was like, hey, that's cool. So what I generally do now is I just download anything that catches my interest, so it's at least in my download pile, so to speak. I found that to be the quickest way to keep track, personally, because they always get updates and stuff, but at least I know if I like download it and install it, then it's there in my mod organizer. You can change which scene elements show up in just the stream and not the recording. Oh, that is cool. It's like audio track splitting, but for visual elements. Whisper, modded Skyrim sucks. Mindless work like that is great for audiobooks. Oh, totally. In fact, that was actually one of the enjoyable elements of the fourth weekend, is that on the way up and down, it was pretty long. The first trip, the trip up, we cut it in half because we stayed with our friends in San Francisco and we were picking them up, and all four of us drove together up to Oregon. And so that, and then on the way back down, we did it all in one day. So that was like 12 hours of driving. That was rough. But it was made far less rough because we were listening to Ronan Farrow's audiobook, Catch and Kill, about his, it's kind of the background on his story about Harvey Weinstein that kicked off Me Too, which is tremendously interesting if you guys are not familiar. The story itself is already so groundbreaking, right? But the circumstances around the story and all the challenges that they faced in building it, all the internal obstacles that were placed by like NBC at first. So anyone who's familiar knows that NBC got raked over the coals because they essentially were paid off by Harvey Weinstein to not run the story. Specifically, the president of NBC News, Noah Oppenheim, is very culpable. And he's still the president, by the way, which is really great. But very, very interesting. And I recommend reading that. Also, Ronan Farrow reads the book, which is really nice. God, that dude's brilliant. It sucks. He's so young. He's like a legitimate prodigy genius. So he makes the rest of us look like chopped liver for sure. Do I actually play the game anymore? Very rarely, Mika. During the Let's Plays I get to. Now, whenever I play, I launch the game a lot, but it's for testing things. Whiterun Battle Brothers doesn't really have much use in Skyrim Unbound playthroughs, unfortunately. Oh yeah, that's a good point, huh? Because you don't actually kill that dragon. Dang, I didn't even think about that. Oh well. Cool concept. Thought it was a cool mod. Wanted those dudes to play a minor part, considering they were somewhat at the birth of your new skill set. It's true. And I love stuff like that. Like, it's one of the reasons why I like real names, because it's like, it's not quite the same as the specific extra steps that Battle Brothers takes, but there's something cool about, like getting into a fight alongside a guard or something, and that person has a name, and then when you see them later, you're like, hey, like, I know you. Like, we fought that thing one time. It's just kind of cooler. Excuse me. Can you show how to resolve a problem? Totally. Oh yeah, Morlock. It's a great book. Really, it's dark, to be honest with you. I mean, as you would imagine, any story about Weinstein is. The most frustrating part is hearing about all the different ways that the establishment, so to speak, tried to prevent the story from coming out. It's really disillusioning, but it's a really optimistic tale in the end of it, because obviously, all of the women who came forward to speak, all of the work that Ronan Farrow and his contemporaries did, they all just kept pushing through so bravely, and then we see what happened as a result of that. Finally this dam starts to break. And it's, to me, one of the gnarliest parts about it too is just, you hear so much more about what it really took for these women to come forward, and like the just terror campaigns that Harvey and his lawyers had subjected them to for years and years and years. It gives you a real set, like a much realer sense of what it must have been like and how terrifying it must have been to do that work, and yet they did it anyway, Weird crazy story about a famous director directing my favorite movie. It's hard to hear about how rampantly protected people are of these sick people. Oh yeah. Hey Sacriletus, how you doing? Look away, don't ask type of attitude in Hollywood. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, they can tear you down, they cover everything up. The whole, like, you'll never work in this town again is very real. In the case of someone like Weinstein, in classic abuser methods or fashion, you would say, he ingratiated himself into so many different sectors, right? Like, he was contributing campaign finances to, like the Hillary Clinton campaign and like other Democratic nominees. Like, he has all these fingers in all these pies for film festivals internationally, and like with has all this influence within Hollywood, to say nothing of just the money that he has with which to pursue his targets with these targeted harassment campaigns and legal fees and everything. It's insane. It's frankly insane kind of what you go up against. A big part of the story, and the reason that the name is Catch and Kill, is because that was the shorthand for the Weinstein Company and for Harvey and his kind of cohorts. Catch and Kill was their term for finding stories that threatened to expose Harvey Weinstein's abuse and kill the stories, right? So that was their MO, so to speak. It's funny when you have a guard that always gets in your way. Something from that point on, whenever you see that dude, you're like, ugh, yes, this dude again. Absolutely. Well, it's like what you do in real life, right? You meet someone, you have either a positive or negative relationship with them or interaction, and then it sticks with you, All right, here's what we're going to do. So I saw a request to... I'll show you like the NPC work that we've been doing. Let me jump down here. NPC. So most of the stuff here, these are a lot more complex. So like all the ones in here, generally, dialogue can be a little bit fuffy sometimes, but these are tougher because this is the first real creative edits that I've had to do thus far. By creative, I mean, that we have several NPC appearance mods in the install right now, and I'm very picky when it comes to which appearances make it through to the final game. A good example of this, and I believe she was one of the last ones that I did, is here we go, Silda the Unseen. So Silda the Unseen, for those who aren't familiar, is a beggar in Windhelm. She's generally out front of the Palace of the Kings, and normally, so you can see here, we got Windsong Immersive Character Overhaul, otherwise known as Wyco, which is a great foundational NPC appearance overhaul. If you are someone who wants to make NPCs look less absolutely terrible, but you don't want to shift over to the kind of the beautification that some of the other NPC overhauls tend towards, Wyco is a great thing because it covers probably the most NPCs out of any of them, and it generally keeps within the style of vanilla. You also have Pandorable here, and most of the time, because Pandorable and especially Baijin are sparing with the NPCs that they edit, what we'll end up with, I can already tell, is a lot of NPCs who are Wyco, who look not over beautified, so what you might call, not ugly, maybe in some cases intentionally ugly, but like not, models, so to speak. And then with Pandorable and Baijin, every once in a while, you'll meet a character who you're like, whoa, damn, that person's like actually straight up hot, right? Or like attractive. The trick is to not have those types of characters in places where it doesn't make sense. So, for example, Bards. Bards are oftentimes a focus of like Pandorable or Baijin. It makes sense for Bards to be done up and they have their hair and their makeup and whatever because they're entertainers for a living. It's part of their job to kind of have like sex appeal or to be at least pleasant to look at. However, if you have a beggar, for example, it doesn't really make sense for her to be hot or to have good hair, anything like that. And you can tell like Pandorable with Silda tried to make her like a little scruffier than it does on average, but she's still just a bit, like I remember seeing her in one of the past streams and I was like, it's a bit too much. So in this case, we have Wyco carrying over, right? What I miss? Have Pandorable's favorite pickpocket. Oh, Normal People. That's a great show. Is getting some AI issues in my Solitude dock, so I re-enabled my tweaks to disable AI of small critters that are further than a certain range from the player. Oh my god, Sacoletius, that is a brilliant edit. Mika says Baijin, Blacksmith, and Whiterun. Oh yeah, like Adrienne Avenici. She's not quite so bad. It makes her face look super hot, and her hairstyle looks like it almost could be kind of like, like a working style. She has it like done up in a ponytail, but just something about it. She's like too clean. The hairstyle's too perfect, and it breaks the illusion that this person's like sweating away in front of a forge all day, right? Is there a way to see the NPCs without launching the game? Sort of. Depends. We can bring up a... hold on a second. A picture. So what I've been doing is bringing up the Nexus pages for Pandorable and Baijin, and then Waiko. So Pandorable and Baijin are nice enough to provide specific images of, or individual images of every single NPC that they edit. So and the only one that doesn't is Waiko. It has some, but it doesn't have all on the Nexus page. So what I do is I fire up the game with only Waiko installed, and then I use the Nexus pictures as a reference. So every time I see a character who is being edited by all of them, let's find like a good example here. Valga, well, sort of. This works well enough. So here we have Valga Vinicia is being edited by Waiko, and then also Pandorable. And what I would just kind of bring them up on the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages wiki, teleport myself to them so that I can see them, in their natural habitat, so to speak, and look at the Waiko version, and then look at the pictures of the Pandorable version. So here, let me bring this over for you guys so you can see. Here's Pandorable. I like default and vanilla plus hairstyles like Hallgarth's. Let's see. I'm the only one that likes the vanilla pages. Found out limit download speed. No more buffer for me. What? She looks like she stepped right off a catwalk. That is, I think, especially Baijin. Baijin is like straight up models all the time. Pandorable, they'll look attractive more or less, but they don't look out of place a lot of the time. Like, who is this, Saren? Yeah, she's the, she's like a little pretty. But the thing is that when you mix in a whole bunch of characters who are Windsong, like if we go through here, you'll see that there's a ton who, like this one's Windsong, this one's Windsong, this is Pandorable, this one's Windsong, Windsong. There's Baijin, who is that? Idgrod the Younger. Oh, she's hot as hell, I remember. That makes sense though, right? Because she's like, also she looks a lot like her mom, which is really cool. Idgrod the Younger is the daughter of the Jarl of Markarth. Actually, the two of them are like my favorites. I really like Idgrod, the Elder. So she's like pretty hot. She has like, nice hair and makeup and stuff. But she's also the daughter of the Jarl. So it's like, okay, that makes sense. But you will see that one's Pandorables. That one's Waiko. So there's a lot more Windsong NPCs than there are Pandorables or Baijin, which to me generally creates this more realistic take where most people that you meet are average looking. Every once in a while you meet someone who you're like, whoa, like, hey. So this is the other thing that we're going to end up doing though for the Windsong people is I'm probably going to replace their hairstyles because I do not like the vanilla meshes for the hairstyles specifically. And they look very strange alongside like Pandorables or Baijin, which either use their own proprietary hairs or they use like, KS hairdos. But I will also be swapping out the textures from the vanilla hair replacer because by default it uses the Salt and Wind textures for KS hairdos, which I know a lot of people like. They're not my cup of tea. I actually prefer the default textures, which I think are a little bit more realistic. They have better lighting and almost like roots. It's kind of hard to explain. Ultimate Skyrim is my most anticipated game of the year. I'm more hyped for this mod pack than any other game set to release. Thank you very much, Lycan. Much rather those kinds of females look attractive at a base, just with no makeup and messy hair with a few battle scars. I mean, there's female fighters who are absolute brutes and still look hot AF. Same goes for gals. Yes, exactly. So and good thing is that you can adjust like makeup and things like that individually. Also, I've heard some people say that they don't think makeup should exist at all, which is even like there's in precedent within the game, like makeup does exist. Like plenty of characters do wear makeup in vanilla. There's plenty of things that people have used for makeup, like all the way into, ancient times, so to speak. Let's see. Got anything in there for the boys? So yes, there are. Now, so Waiko, on the whole, edits the dudes way, like Pandorables and Baijin are almost entirely female. Pandorables does have some males for like the Dawn Guard NPCs and things like that, but Waiko handles tons of men. It's the other cool thing about Waiko is that it really does serve as a game-wide platform to make all of the characters, including men, look a lot better. In fact, I looked through all of the male overhauls as well and found that there really wasn't anything that felt to me as solid as Waiko, and most every male enhancer that I saw out there was already covered by Waiko, so I just kind of opted for it. Even Salt and Wind textures are not for me, let alone the default ones for KS hairdos. I like the default ones more. The Salt and Wind ones, I think the purpose is to try and make hair look more coarse and like weather worn, and it does that part well. It's just that the lighting and the coloration's too even. It doesn't look like real hair to me. It looks more like Legos. But it's fantastic work. I know that I think I'm in the minority there. I think the majority of people do prefer the Salt and Wind textures, which I can totally understand. Find it sad how there are very few looking guy mods out there, mainly like ultra feminized men who look like they're straight out of teenagers Lord of the Rings elvish fan fiction. Yeah, or like super androgenized, kind of like anime. That's why I think Waiko does a really good job. Like we can jump in game and kind of take a look at people. And then also, if people are worried about there not being enough like ugly characters, let me tell you, a lot of the randomly generated characters by things like the populated series or just all the traveling NPCs mods, those ones are generally not edited as intricately. So, but they do benefit from like, you know, the skin textures and the tint masks and stuff from like Waiko and whatever. So I think there's a nice mix of like normal, attractive, and less fortunate looking people, we'll say, which is realistic. I actually prefer vanilla hair textures over anything else. I don't mind the vanilla hair textures. I do mind the vanilla hair meshes, which look like they're solid. It's like they look like they have 12 polygons in some cases, like across the entire model. I think it's fine if you have every other vanilla or every other hairstyle also vanilla, but like if you add in any hairs that actually look halfway decent or realistic, those vanilla hairs just really stand out as strange, we'll call it. Feminine guys are absolutely fine, just not when it's all for... Oh yeah, of course. Nothing against feminine or androgynous looking men, of course. Just that, you know, they do tend to... The mods, I mean, will take some characters who are canonically a bit more masculine in their appearance and then make them look that way. Like very particular, like plucked eyebrows and whatever. Reminder, you were going to show how you resolve issues. Oh, sure. Here, let's go down to the next one. So these are templates. These don't need resolving. Froki Wetted Blade. Eola. Okay, so here's one. Now the problem is I can't really see what she looks like in... Oh, here. Let me just... We'll do our actual setup here. So what I got to do first, I actually got to close this. There's a very particular order you have to do this in. I learned this. So we're going to bring up my profile for Waiko and make sure that's all good. And we're going to launch this. I think this should still work on stream, hopefully. It's going to be a bit smaller. Oh, you know what? Here, let me fix that for the stream. I typically have it running in like a little tiny window because I don't really mind. But for the stream, maybe it'd be better if I did it full screen. It's going to look a little bit strange because it's going to be scaled using SSE display tweaks. Hey Callum, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. Where is it? Oh, whoops. There we go. Bring you down here so I remember where you are. The ini files and full screen false, borderless true, and borderless upscale true. All right, so that should get us a nice full screen that still is not going to be actual full screen, so we can alt tab out easily. We're doing good. About to jump in and show some conflict resolution and some NPC appearance comparisons. Just kind of going through what the work has been like the past couple weeks, week and a half. I like to try and figure out what song is the next one before I can tell. can't remember what this one's called. Something to do with... Hold on. It's going to come to me. This is not King and Country, is it? Oh, no. Through the Valleys. NPC Appearance is probably the least modded part of my game. It was for me too, Sacriletes, for a long time, and then I just decided to... Well, because it's tough in Legendary Edition especially. If you try and get too fancy with your NPCs, I feel like you can really tank your performance. But I just figured it was time. And when I started to dig into it, it was just like an area that I was never really interested in. I was like, you know, people who are interested in the NPCs can go for it and do it themselves. But as I dug into it, I found myself surprisingly like, oh wow, this is really cool. And I like the impact of like having characters in game that actually do look like humans instead of weird, I don't know what you'd call the vanilla Skyrim NPCs. Whatever they are, there's a big difference between them and the edited version. And I actually do find that it makes a big difference in terms of my immersion. So hyped for this release. It's on the same excitement level that I have for Cyberpunk. Wow, that is saying something. I'm humbled, Miami Knights. I hope that we can deliver. Potatoes with makeup. Yeah, sure, there you go. But potatoes are nice and smooth. These guys are like angular and like jagged and odd. So this is going to look a little strange because it's trying to upscale to 2K from 1080p. But hopefully it doesn't look too bad. It'll at least serve the purpose of showing us the Wyco models. To me, it's more like a cartoony style. I totally get that. It's just when you have... I mean, it is. You're pretty much objectively correct. It's like when we go and generally make other things look more realistic, that's when the cartoony style starts to look a little strange, right? Like the vanilla NPCs, at least they're better than Oblivion NPCs. I think generally they are. I think in some ways, actually, the Oblivion NPCs are better. I think that the best of the best Oblivion NPCs can still look better, maybe a little bit more natural than some of the Skyrim NPCs. But of course, the worst of the worst Oblivion NPCs are just like... Nothing in Skyrim gets close to that bad. I have a scented candle burning right now, and I can taste it. Oh, hell yeah. Is it the goop candle of, I think it's Gwyneth Paltrow's Orgasm? That's a great one, I'm sure. CDPR, do you have the same morals, though? That's why I'm excited for both in the same way. Oh my gosh, Miami Knights. I'm blushing. That is a very... I hold them in very high regard, so I'm very humble that you would say something about me. I'm enjoying watching Season 1 and Season 2 of Ultimate Skyrim. Being able to see how it happens is nice. Well, thank you for joining us, Silver. Okay. So, now... You're not supposed to eat the candle. Caramel pumpkin swirl. It smells delicious. I was never like a huge candle person, or like I like candles well enough, but I would never buy them myself. But Liz buys candles, and since now I get to smell all the wonderful candles. Okay, so what we're gonna do is bring up Pandorables. So you got Pandorables, and we're gonna need probably Pandorables, Dawnguard. There we go, and then. There, Dragonborn. So this way we have kind of all of them comprehensively. And then we need Baijin all in one. And that will take us to the... Oops. Okay, that's fine. We get NPCs, War Maidens, and Wives. So between all of those, we should have all the NPCs that we might look at. It's like playing that OSRS fan-made remake in Unreal, then still having the OSRS default character models. Yes, absolutely. Coincidentally... I'm really excited for that client, but I plan on keeping the OSRS graphics like overall. Though I actually did start playing again a little bit, and I've been using RuneLight, and it's just like so nice. Any old school fans out there? Okay, so that's all set up, and now we get to pop into Mod Organizer, and now we're unlocking. So be very careful when doing these kinds of things. And when we go into when we go into SSE edit, we're gonna have to be very careful in the order that we exit. There we go. More Glade plugin guy. Anything that involves me not having to set my house on fire. I mean, there's a real benefit to not setting your house on fire. Let's go full EA and add loot boxes after release. You do not have to worry about that, Miami. There's no loot boxes. There's no nothing. It's free for everyone to do. I think honestly the most that I'd do would be like an in-game like patron list, right? Or like just a list of people who have contributed. And even that one, it's tough because like it's harder to have a list of like maybe we have 2 lists for people who contribute to like the project in terms of development, and then people who contribute on Patreon, because like you don't want one to feel more important than the other. Add microtransactions to Nazim bot. There you go. It's a while back. I wanted to make a mod that brings clue scrolls to Skyrim. It didn't get anywhere, unfortunately. I love clue scrolls. I think that's one of the things that old school RuneScape does so well, is that like the core gameplay is of course this kind of not just grinding, I guess, but it's very grindy, or you build your skills through like continuous use, kind of like how you do in real life, and they recognize that and then sprinkle in all these little things that break up the monotony every so often, like clue scrolls or like treasure hunts or random events. And I think that's really, really smart. I have a lot of respect for that design philosophy, because it makes for very cool pacing, you know what I mean? Like you can't have everything feel super exciting all the time, because then the exciting part, you have to have lows in order to have highs, is basically what I'm saying. Multiple scented wax guy myself. I don't even think I've done that. Was a rough time frame for initial release. I haven't said any yet, Callum, just because I still have now, like for example, I'm conflict resolving USEP at the moment, and you can see there's still a whole lot of plugins to resolve. However, not every plugin is the same. A lot of these, like let's see, like Campfire is probably pretty big. Yeah, so you got a lot of stuff here, but that doesn't, like there, I just resolved all these conflicts. There are none, right? For pure conflict resolution, that's easy. Although a lot of the time I kind of like look closely just to make sure everything's like, for example, like these are your bedroll, like I'll change that to like bedroll or whatever it is. I have weird little things like that. But for the most part, not every plugin is equally large, and some are easier to get through. Like even Immersive Children, there's going to be a lot of, oh yeah, no, I'm thinking of RS Children would have NPC edits. UI extensions, look, it's like practically nothing, right? So that plugin just took me 3 seconds to conflict resolve, but other ones take longer. So for that reason, it's pretty tough to give release dates, and we've learned our lesson from, yes, as Connor says, from the 4.0 release, where it was just way too rushed, and it literally, like, almost, maybe I shouldn't use the word literally, but it was really rough on all of us. Like, I was so burned out from that I didn't bounce back for, like, months, to be honest with you. So we're trying to learn from our mistakes and not, promise things that we can't deliver. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. So down to Old Sky, down to my NPCs. Very bottom here, jump to USEP. So if you're curious, the reason I'm doing that is because I know that I left off on, the NPC edits, and I have it sorted by form ID, so it's always the same every time. So I went to Ultimate Skyrim, this plugin, and then jumped to the same spot in USEP, so I know kind of exactly where I'm at. Alright, so Eola. I don't remember who Eola is. Let's find out who Eola is. So I go here, go USP Eola. She's a Breton Nightblade. Oh, she's this lady. Okay, so she's pretty beastly. You'll say, yes, good times, though. It was. Eola is the Cannibal. Okay, so she's pretty gnar. And it looks like we have, what was it? Yes, Baijin is editing her. So we'll go ahead and jump to her. What is her ref ID? 1BB8E. 1BB8E. A lot of people use the word literally to mean figuratively. It's just how language evolves, right? Oh, you know what? Maybe she's not here yet because we haven't triggered the quest. Well, that's no problem. Here she is.
You were young when you first tasted human flesh, weren't you? A brother or sister had died. An accident, of
You're so weird. Okay, so you can see here, like, this is Waiko. Like, I think she looks great. Like, I mean, she's got a neck seam. We can always fix that. But, like, for an in-game character, totally fine. So, like, this is something you could very easily leave in there and just be totally chill. And now, let's go ahead and take a look at what... No, not that one. There we go. Ugh, this is why I don't like doing the full screen sometimes. Hey, Oral Haas, I'm doing just fine. Y'all see Merriam-Webster recognize irregardless is a word. I did see that. I was like, ugh. I shouldn't care. It's like really who cares, but it is annoying for some reason. All right. Eola. Let's see what you look like in Baijin. Here. She's going to be a war maiden. You can find her like this. Where's she at? Oh, here she is. So that's one where it's I don't know, it's almost preferable. Like, she looks fine, I guess. It's kind of hard to tell. Whoops, that's not safe for Twitch. I'm not scrolling down any further than that. So I don't know. This one's actually tough because I guess you know what we could do is here's what I've been doing in this case. So go Eola. So this is my list of NPCs that I want to check that I have forwarded, like Pandorables or Baijin, but I'm like a little nervous that they might be a bit over beautified or whatever, and I just put notes in here. So I'll say Eola, what is it? Look weirder. So now I kind of have some context for what my feelings were when I go to check them as a whole. So find it bizarre UK-US share an almost identical language with ultra minimal changes. Yeah, and the changes don't make sense to me either. Or I'm sure they do make sense. Or whoops, I don't know why I scrolled down again. Force of habit. But like there's probably a reason for them. I just don't know what it is. So what we're gonna do then is take the now this one actually. There really probably isn't any conflicts to resolve because we don't want Waiko's changes and the only other plugin here is Usleep. But I am going to forward that to the plugin because most of these are eventually going to be changed by like Requiem or whatever. And having this in the Alt Sky plugin tells me internally that I've looked at this character already. Because when I go back through the other plugins, like I need to know that I've already looked at this record and sorted it so I don't end up doing the same thing over and over again. So this one should be good. You can tell that Baijin is forwarding Usleep's changes, and so we're good. USEP. Why is that weird? It's not like they have separate origins. You do fantastic work. Thank you very much, RJ Pam. Yeah, I mean, all it takes is just time to become well-versed. However well-versed I am, it's from this. I just sat here and clicked around and did a lot of trial and error and, you know, sometimes looked online for like tutorials, although for stuff like Xedit, there's not that much. I've had more luck. Like for the first however many years, I just it was all trial and error, and now I go on like the Discord whenever I have like a very, you know, like specific problem. So I recommend that. The author is very active on the Discord. Here's a good conflict resolve. So it's a simple one. So Waiko, whoever Lyric is, it's one of the Orc Chiefs. We're keeping the Waiko appearances, which generally is determined by anything. Oh, and here's another thing. So right now I have this sorted by what's called hide no conflict and empty rows. So this is a tool that makes conflict resolution easier by only showing you the parts of the records that are conflicting. If you remove that, this is what the record looks like in its entirety. And you can kind of see how everything that's green here there's no conflicts at all. All the different records all the different plugins that are editing this record are the same. The edits are the same. These are the areas where there's conflicts. So these are head parts, which are all appearance related. This is appearance related, hair color. Everything from pretty much this point down is appearance related. So textures, texture lighting, tint colors, and we go down here, tint layers, all of that is appearance related. So that can all just be left exactly as is. The only thing we need to forward over here is this USEP script that allows the bodies to be cleaned up. American UK family conversations hit standstill so easily with wall of confusion. So that one's fine. Same thing here. So a lot of these edits are just like this. Like when I see these plugins, I generally know that this is going to be the only thing that needs to be changed. This one's a little bit more complex. So this is, what is it named now? This is what used to be immersive merchandising. And now it's called Realistic Trading Stocks of Skyrim with D&D Spellcasting Service is what this acronym is for. And so we're going to keep Wyko's appearance. We're going to drag over. You can see RTSS DNDSS is also forwarding the patches thing there. And here we're going to carry over this protected status. Most of the time I don't like characters that are protected or essential, but I actually have separate mods that will be handling that, so it doesn't really matter. There's some faction edits here that, if you guys aren't familiar with immersive merchandising, what it does is a few different things, but primarily it makes a lot more characters into merchants, and like farmers, for example, will trade with you in their crops, and hunters have edited, stuff that they offer. So the purpose of it is generally to make more NPCs sell the things that they find and make. Also, it adds stuff like, priests will heal you or like cast spells on you for a price. Some cool little features like that. But in order to make it function properly, these factions need to be correctly assigned. This one, I don't know why it removes the loot from their pockets, but I don't mind if that's there, so I'm going to keep that. And the rest should be fine. So there you go. Conflict resolution, same one there. Drag you, all good. Okay, now we've got a Baijin. Borgakak the Steelheart. I know her. She's one of the followers, the orc followers. So now we get to do the same thing again. Go Baijin. Borgak. There we go. All right. So her reference 5B688. Whoa. 5B688. All right, that one didn't work. So instead, Biden War Maidens. Poor bodyguard of Riften Jarl probably wished he was protected when I came to town, turned into bounty. Evidently. Okay, Borgak. 19959. Sometimes the reference IDs don't seem to work. Excuse me, Eola. Bye-bye. So, not great, but I mean, whatever. This would be perfectly fine to have as an appearance. Nice. So, we are going to go to the War Maidens page, and we're going to look for Borgak. Here she is. God, I gotta... This is dangerous because I'm going to get myself banned. Now, that, to me, looks really weird. Like, her face looks cool, but, like, why is her hair like that, right? So, yeah, I will go to a place with better lighting. Normally, I would teleport straight to them, Leo Kadar, but for some reason, that last reference didn't work. The hair isn't orcish at all. Totally. It just, yeah, maybe she's born with it. You guys ever hear that joke where it's like, breaking news, scientists have confirmed that it is in fact Maybelline. But yeah, so this one, it's actually not simple to carry over the face edits without the hairs. That can be a little bit weird. So, I mean, in this case, what I'm going to do is actually forward over Wyko's changes. So this is why you have to do this, right? Is like, for me, you can't just kind of call it a day and let Baijin or Pandorables. I'm very specific about the appearances of like NPCs and things like that, just because it matters to me, like if I were playing, everything I do, I kind of just like, as I imagine most developers of anything do, I put the stuff in the game that I would want in the game for the one day that I eventually get to play it, right? These we can do, these are like perks. We'll end up editing those anyway, so why not? But this is all appearance related stuff. And so we're going to leave that as is. You can teleport to a ref ID. Only the object ref is loaded in the memory. Persistent refs are always loaded while temporary aren't. Ah, thank you for that explanation, Hazard. Makes sense. She should have a mohawk. Totally. Her dad was a Nord, so she has long blonde hair. Is that true, Callum? The taste is bitter. Nice. Rude. Because like sometimes there are justifications like that where it's like, okay, but like still though, it just looks weird. You know what I mean? In this case, like sometimes I'll be like, all right, fine. There's like some sort of in-universe justification for it. Like I'll stick because it does look cool. Like this design, you know, like this is a cool take on like an orc. Like she's definitely notable, but it's strange. No, it's not true. It's the only explanation for her hair. Right. So it's like that. Like you don't see any other orcs like in the game that look like that. So it's just weird. And you can tell it's just like an attempt to make them look like hot in a way. So there you go. I think that's everything. We good. And on we go. It's another easy one. Only one appearance mod. Carry over the scripts. Carry over the protected flag. Merchant flags. We can give her orc stronghold bow. So this one, you'll see this kind of stuff, right? Where like these are items. This section is items. This is the stuff that they're going to carry on them. Realistic Trading Stocks is trying to make specific changes to what she carries. It looks like the changes are a bit more interesting than, you know, the standard. This is like what came with it is like a randomly leveled list of, or these are leveled lists that have like orc stronghold items. So it looks like it's going to give her an orcish bow anyway. Orcish War Axe. These are also leveled as of now. That's why you can see like this 18. Like this is all going to be changed once Requiem is in the picture. But why not just give her the Orcish bow? So what I'm going to do is here's the one for her bow. So I'll replace that there. And then arrows. I mean, I honestly could just do the whole thing, but I want to keep these. So there we go. And then she can keep her War Axe. That's fine. And she got her loot citizen. So like sometimes you'll make little like creative edits like that. But once again, it just comes from like, I know what every section is for because I've seen thousands and thousands and thousands of these records, you know, over time. So it just from experience, you just kind of get a sense of like what each edit is doing, and then you can start moving through them more quickly, if that makes sense. Also, this is AI packages. That's fine. Although, actually, this is an interesting one. So it looks like USEP is removing this package, this one specifically. And usually, if that's the case, it's doing it for a reason. So I'm going to forward that change as well. And then we're good. Moving on. Bijin's Coda, totally. Perth. Okay, so here's another one that's actually pretty easy. So we got this, because there's only one appearance mod, right? Or it's easy in terms of the appearance anyway. Get these faction records. That's fine, keep there. So here we've got some new packages, and these ones are added by USEP. This one is added by The Choice Is Yours. So we're actually going to use this one entirely. Bing, bang, boom. You were literally explaining everything I'm just learning to do with my own old Sky. I got very confused by a lot of the stuff, but I'm starting to figure out what it all does. I had a lot of issues with NPC visuals not properly applying in my game. Oh, yeah. And you'll encounter so much stuff like that, Morlock, where, like, I remember a good example would be when I was first messing with horses in Ultimate Skyrim. Kept making all these changes to like individual horse stats. I would like jump in game and they weren't being reflected in game, or like some of them were, some of them weren't. I didn't understand what was happening, and then I learned about like template records, right? Which is like, let's see if this NPC has one. Template, so no one does. Like the template record, if you're not familiar, most of these will not have one, or in fact, you know what we can do? Let's remember. Okay, Perth, is this record all good to go? Seems that way. Okay, so we're good. Let's go back up to, here we go, Dark Brotherhood Initiate, or maybe Wizard's Guard. This one probably is a template. No, it has a template. So like template records, right? Template records are essentially like base records from which this record, or anything that has the template assigned, will draw data from. And that data is specifically defined in this section, which is template flags. So you can see here, here's all the different things that a record can derive from a template, and you can say specifically, I only want this and this and this, but not this and this. And so what we have here is that whenever we have, what is this, Markarth Wizard Guard, whenever this NPC gets spawned into the game, it's going to draw its traits, stats, spell list, and attack data, and I guess model and animation from this template, which is bandit, melee, even tone, female, right? And if we go down here, chances are we do have some defined skills, but it looks like those might be auto-generated, I'm assuming. Unless that's really just their skills. Where's the flags? Items, data, player skills. What? I'd be surprised. Maybe, well, it could be traits if we go here. Because there's no way these are their actual skills in the game. See, so I even get confused sometimes. You know, I've seen this stuff like a million times. Combat style, blah, blah, blah. Here's your template. Chances are... use stats. Oh, and this one has its own template. So here you have nested templates, right? So this template is actually using a template. And I'm assuming stats, these are all, right. So it's borrowing its stats from this template. And this is probably, oh, it can be any one of these. So not only is this a nested template, but this is a leveled list, a leveled NPC list. So here's how you get kind of like leveled randomness, right? Is that like, this is how the game levels itself. So we end up with a Markarth wizard that is strong enough for your level based on like the game. So let's go ahead and pick this guy randomly. Oh, and this one uses a template. So you can see how this shit gets so confusing so fast. And we got stats. All right, so here's where we're going to get C, and then we have an auto-calc stats. I knew we were going to have an auto-calc stats somewhere in here. So this is the actual character, like in terms of perks and skills and whatever that you are fighting. And so here you can see some actually defined skills. And so this kind of thing, you just pick it up over time. It's like trial and error, like all the times like, oh, and this one has skills too. So actually it could be deriving from there. Oh wait, no, that was the same record. But yeah, so anytime you see this, it's like, that it's not going in the game with only skills of 5 and everything. So it's just little things like that you learn over and over and over. Or from exposure over and over. Are the Redguard kids in the mod pack actually Redguard? I always hated how the Redguard boy you can adopt looks like a generic white kid in all his potato glory. If they did this out of laziness, I didn't even know he was a Redguard until a few years ago. So Miami, the RS Children changes the appearance of the children, because you are right that in default Skyrim, all of the kids have the exact same face morph. So if RS Children changes it, then yes. Otherwise, no. It is very cool, Morlock. Like the idea that you can set things up this way. It's brilliant. And this is why whenever people talk about the Bethesda engine, so to speak, right? How they need a new engine. The engine that they have built is so great for the kinds of games that they build. I mean, you could imagine them differently and take it back to the drawing board, so to speak. But really, any new engine that they would build would be super, super similar to their current engine. It would just have graphical improvements, right? And that is essentially what they've been doing. They have the same engine, sort of, but they Frankenstein on new elements, new lighting, new animation technology, sort of. And it makes sense to me why they do that, because they do have a really well-established engine at this point that is fantastic for the kinds of games they produce. All right, where do we leave off? Oh, I don't recognize any of these. Eola. Okay, Perth. Here we go. Horror gear. Okay, the problem is everything is static. You can't generate a new enchanted weapon on the fly. You can only select a random loot from a list of predefined weapons. Same with base NPC templates, totally. So everything has to be defined already, and it's always going to be from that. And the randomness is randomly choosing between these different templates that are already pre-existing. So it is very baked, so to speak. So there are definitely cons to this approach. All right, so this is an interesting conflict resolve, just because we have to throw in some AI overhaul, which Wyco, interestingly, the Pandorable plugins and I believe Bijin are both, they include changes from AI overhaul and actually include it as a requirement, but Wyco does not. So because I want it to be a requirement, I'm going to go ahead and forward over. we got an additional package, which based on the description gives Hrogir, whoever this guy is, a day off. How about that? Which is better for modding, LE or SE? Definitely SE. Kashira. How am I pronouncing that? Kashirama, maybe? Or LE if you're a masochist. There are some mods that are only available for SE, but a lot of those can still be used, only available on LE. A lot of those can still be used for SE anyway. SE is way more stable. It is where the majority of modding development takes place now anyway. I would recommend it. It's just like a much better experience. In my opinion, I'm almost comfortable saying objectively. Okay. Onward, I think that's everything here. This is about the most complex conflict resolution I'm willing to do on stream because, as you can see, this is very detail-oriented work and it's very easy to miss like a little record here or there. Old the Tavern Weekends. This is another fun thing. This is the first time we're using AI overhaul. We don't use it on LE. And I really like seeing all the custom AI overhaul packages and like getting a feel for like the different behaviors that they implement on the characters, to the characters. That gets me excited because I love, this idea of a living, breathing world where, characters have different schedules and they do different things. And I will say that vanilla Skyrim actually does do a decent job of that. Like, it's not great, but for the amount of characters and stuff they have in the game, like, there is a lot of attention paid to making the characters have their own kind of little schedules and stuff. You're still trying to incorporate Legacy of the Dragonborn into SE. Not the initial release, that's for sure. The initial release is just like a 0.1 alpha, beta, purely conflict resolved, almost just direct port of LE with a few additional features. Mostly only adult mods and some super advanced ENBs. Right, for LE, most mods have an equivalent SE mod. That is a good point. The ENB is an area where the LE is technically superior. Like, you can do a lot more with LE ENBs at this point. But to me, like, the special edition ENBs are still so good. And, like, the performance gains and everything else you get from being on SE make it still worth it, in my mind. You can get away with so many more mistakes for longer in SE, though. Absolutely. Now you're not on the ball, you can miss something easily. It's like, that's why I will say that, what I will say is, we always joke about that. It's like a really common part of mine and my friend's lexicon. Even Liz now. With LE, like, I'm pretty proud of how stable we got Ultimate Skyrim to be on Legendary Edition. I still think that even in like an unconflict resolved state, the stability of SE just out of the box is just so good. It's really, really good. And when you go in and actually resolve errors and conflict resolve and stuff, then it's just like kicks it up to 12th gear, so to speak. All right, so that's everything there. SSE has parallax now, that's right. You want to dive down that rabbit hole. So I guess we're going to start seeing a bunch of texture mod updates that actually utilize parallax. Or hopefully they've been building it out with parallax in mind, and it's just like a matter of flipping the switch, but that is not my area of knowledge, really. So I can't say. All right, we're good there. So you can see this is a head texture that we actually do not want to apply because we are forwarding Wyco. Same thing, nice and easy. Carry that over. Carry over these factions. Carry over these packages. Bing, bang, boom. Varnius is done. Plot, sorry to be late. Wife not tolerant of nerd TV while playing Monopoly with the children. What are we looking at today? How you doing, Plot? I was showing off some conflict resolution, showing kind of the current state of the Ultimate Skyrim plugin, showing the process for kind of choosing between the different NPC appearances, and we'll actually get to do that right now because we've got another person that we got to look at. SE is great for learning the mod. It's a hell of a lot more forgiving, especially how many mods to test the waters with. Do I know a tutorial for SSE edit? Unfortunately not. Maybe, I'm sure that they must be out there. I would search, like, I think Gopher has some Xedit tutorials. Xedit is the general term for SSE edit, TS5 edit, Fallout 4 edit, whatever. It's all the same program, really. And probably Gamer Poets. Michael of Gamer Poets, I'm sure, has some. The problem is there's just so many different things you can do. It depends on what exactly you're trying to do. I almost would say, like, go in and try and do whatever it is you're trying to do. If you encounter problems, go on the Xedit Discord, and it's fairly active. There are people who I think would be happy to help you there. Finally caught you live. Hello from YouTube side of things. Hey, Deptorino, how you doing? Okay, so let's see. Who is this? Fada. Sometimes I recognize the names. I find most of the time I don't. It shows you how much I actually get to play the game. Or choose to play the game. Fada. Fun fact, I've never progressed myself in a playthrough past finding Serana in Dawnguard. I've never progressed past like the first couple of main quests in Dragonborn. I have never actually been to Sovngarde in a regular playthrough. I've been like right up into the point where you go into Sovngarde, but still haven't done that. Never beaten the main quest myself. Weird, right? Four Shields Tavern, that's Dragonbridge. It looks like this by default. Let's see, 19A29. Nope. 9A29. Okay, well that's okay. Nope. Bridge for Shields Tavern. A lot of game reports is good. A lot of YouTube tutorials. Listening to YouTube videos while at work. Hope you've been enjoying them, Kyle. Here you can see we're going to have to conflict resolve this. It's probably relighting Skyrim. Yes. Conflicting with our beautiful Four Shields Tavern here. Who's here? There she is. Who just subbed? I can't see it. Let me alt-tab out here. Big Kyle, thank you for the sub. Much appreciated, my friend. Stop. I can't see you. Hello. So, same thing. She looks, if not a little generic, totally serviceable. If we wanted to keep that one, we absolutely could. Now let's see what she looks like with Pandorable. There we go. Pandorable, probably just standard NPCs, I would guess. So what I do here is search Fada, and then just cycle through all the different pages. Here we go. So there's one. I'm probably going to go with this one. Just, I think it does make sense for like innkeepers a lot of the time to be like more attractive. And when you see something like this, there's clearly so much effort that's gone into like this appearance and like her face and like the morph. I do like that, so I'm going to forward it along. Pandorable's NPCs. And then we're going to go Wyko's protected flag. Why not? And I believe that's everything we need. Black bars in a bar. I made it Delphine as a blade once. How about that? Visit Greybeards for the first time. Hell yeah, puppet. It's be Alden for the first time with US this morning. I've never done that milk toasting. Not once. I mean, I fought him, sorta, like for playtesting, but not naturally. Not like an actual playthrough. Just shows how much Skyrim has to offer. You can sink so many hours in without the need to complete any of the main quests. Totally true. Totally, totally true. And I think I focus a lot personally on creating stuff to do, like outside of quests, to really make that feeling come across, right? Alright, we're good there. Azada Lilviev. That is either the wife or the husband of the Lilviev family. They're an interesting one. Merchant factions, Woodcutter's Axe, carry that over. Cautious is fine. Give me those AI packages. And Farmer Gourd. Of course, we got to get that Farmer Gourd keyword in there. It's a gourd farmer, you know? Hey, Rear Isle, how you doing? 1,500 plus hours in the game. I wonder how many I have. Hope you're keeping Delphine Biogen. She looks so badass with that mod. I do plan on it, Bloodweaver, if I'm remembering correctly. I like gave her the old appearance because there's like two versions, right? There, like she has like wrinkles in one, and then, or kind of like wrinkles. She just looks like a little bit older. Yeah, Biogen Delphine with wrinkles is my favorite. It does look cool. All right, so that one's done. Michelle Lilviev. So here's another Pandorable. And Michelle is the son? The husband? Can't remember. Let's find out. Oh, it's female. No, Michelle is the woman. Okay, so I'm crazy. Generally speaking, if Pandorables is editing them, it's a woman. So we'll go ahead and check out the UESP. Michelle Lilviev. UESP. Suppose there's nothing wrong with the what's the other Skyrim? The Elder Scrolls Wiki or whatever, but I'm a USP boy myself. Seen here again as default recently. She looks horrifying in her vanilla state. She does. She's very scary. Alright, so there's default. Michelle Lilviev, 19A2F. A2F. Nope, these are all, I guess, not persistent references. Well, I could just bring her to me then. Let's go outside so we get better lighting. Excuse me. Frockveer. Vampire mod. That's not the door. Guess it's this one. Not used to that. What vampire mod do you have installed in USSE? Requiem sucks at that. Nothing right now, but it's very, very likely that we'll be going with Sacrosanct. Problem with some Pandorables is that they are all young, even when they should not, where they should not be. Yes, plot. I've had to defer to Wyco in several instances specifically because of that. Like, Sybil Stentor was a big one. There's also, like, a lady in, Dawnstar, the court wizard, that makes her look a little bit too young for my taste. Although, no, you know what? That one, actually, she did end up looking kind of old anyway in Pandorable. But Sybil was, like, a big one for me, because not only is she a vampire, like, kind of obviously, she's supposed to have been around since, like, all of the reign of Torig's father, right? Also, Sybil Stentor, if you guys haven't talked to her, she has some of, like, the coolest dialogue in the game, in my opinion. But the Pandorable version, or the Baijin version, I can't remember which, makes her look super, like, young and hot. And it's out of place to me. It just doesn't fit her character. Michelle. Hello.
If you're looking for a room, you want the 4 shields.
Okay, so it just kind of looks fairly standard. Wrinkles and scars save the day of the majority of the female NPC overhauls. Those are, I think, usually easier to add to. USP FTW online map is amazing. I don't think I've ever looked at the online map. When I was a kid, and I'm like when I was like 14 or 15, I was a semi-heavy contributor to the UESP. I thought it was like the coolest thing I'd ever seen, and I wanted to be a part of it. That was like around the time that I started making my first mods. I owe a lot to the UESP. All right, let's check out Pandorable's version. I'm assuming this. She's not like Dawnguard or anything, right? All right, cool. Michelle. Is the cat beast race going to have 4-legged sprint? I don't think so, Kyle. Not as of now, anyway. Here she is. Now it's Constance Michelle. Who is that? Oops. Here we go. There she is. So I like this. She's still like a little bit older, but she's got at least kind of a unique appearance, right? Kind of versus the more generic feel that I think Wyco gives her. So I'm going to forward those ones as well. Get this protected flag. And we got the package. I repeat, we have the package. And we're good. So this is what it's like, guys. This is conflict resolution. It's tremendously interesting, I'm sure. It can be a lot of fun, though. At least with stuff like this, you get to make actual creative changes. The trade-off is that it takes a lot longer. Any sort of records where you have to like look at this stuff in depth takes a long time. And other times, like I said before, you just end up with like a big batch of records that all need the same kinds of changes. So then you can kind of turn your brain off and listen to music or a podcast or whatever. I actually have a hard time listening to podcasts myself because I tend to I'm very easily distracted, in case you guys don't know. And I end up focusing too much on what like the podcast is doing, or like the Let's Plays that I love to listen to. Ooh, gold change. Child Pockets, Heartwood Milky. It's all good. She's supposed to look young. The Dragonborn actually comment on it when meeting her orphanage, and she sends you to a vampire lair. Oh, wonderful. Serves you right to comment on a woman's age. Absolutely true. I'm so disrespectful. I feel that. I'm distracted right now with this stream. One thing I like to see is the half Khajiit race working with Requiem. So, half Khajiit race. I ain't never even heard of it. Wylandria. So here's someone with a lot of edits. Wylandria is the court mage of Riften, right? So I know what she looks like generally. Let's see how... Riften Mist Veil Keep. Love the Pandora overhaul they added for Ingen. Oh yeah, Maven is for sure great. Because she, like, retains this kind of, like, badass, you know, aged woman.
Excuse my disorganization, but I'm in the middle of some delicate...
She looks fine. Let's go see if I can get her to take off her hood. Probably not, actually, with this command. Because that's probably her default. Yep. Okay, so she looks fine. Let's see what she looks like with Pandora. Wyland. You guys familiar with Wyland? Wyland is the artist who paints all those beautiful underwater pieces, or like ocean pieces. There we go, Wylandria. That's pretty cool. She looks a little young, but I don't know. I like this. I'll probably forward this, and I'll add her to the list to like make sure that she's not too out of place. She looks like a Disney villain in that, in a very Elder Scrolls way. Totally. Very Cruella de Vil vibes. Or like, not Cruella de Vil, because she's so unique in terms of appearance. Boom. Female protected. Trainer faction. Job spell faction. What is that? I'll forward that as well. Give her whatever spells. Honestly, doesn't matter. She can have all these spells. Who cares? She never gets into any fights. She's more elvish, not fully cat's influenced by the moon phase. Makes sense to the mages to look young, very Witcher vibe. They're using magic to keep themselves young. Yeah, and isn't Wylandria also a vampire? I thought that was like a rumor. There's something sketchy about her, right? Staff fireball. Oh wow, look at that. And it's got all that. She's an enchanting train. Oh, you know what? I remember this because I remember we had issues with her. Skinhead. Okay, so I think we're good. It'll be... Oh, the music stopped. I just realized. I've been listening to a lot of... If you guys are M83 fans, M83 has a new album out, and it's really cool. It's called... It's a Roman numeral, but I do recommend it highly. It's like almost like a video game / like old 80s like hair metal. It's hard to explain, but it's very, very cool. I think we're good here. Atub. Yeah, so this is basically what I've been doing. If you guys have any specific questions, feel free to levy them my way. And then what we can do, if this is... I don't know if this is tremendously interesting. You can keep that key. Why does this remove the key? Maybe I should remove that key. Typically speaking, if USEP is doing something, it's doing it for a reason. Alright. Okay, fine. I'll trust you. Ugor. Oh, here we go. This one we might have to watch out for. Oh, this one actually doesn't get edited by anyone. Who the heck is Ugor? Let's find out, shall we? How long are we into the stream? About an hour and a half? Big Kyle? Ugor UESP. I figure since I don't know if conflict resolution is tremendously interesting, we can stop doing that in a little bit and then go through this list and make sure that everyone looks chill. See what they look like. Oh, she's the one who greets you on the thing for that one quest, right? The Cursed Tribe, I think. 19E1B. E1B. So these are all not persistent references. Okay. Oh. What is that? Largashbur? Exterior? 01. There we go. Had to catch the beginning and end on YouTube. Gotta go. Thank you for joining us, Kyle. Look, we're here. Wow. Game hour to 12. Bing, bang, boom. Hello? Is she not here? She might not be if it's like a leveled quest. Alright, well. Is my FOV... I always feel like my FOV is zoomed in. Let's just spawn her then. What was her name? Ugor. 190E1A. Oh god, why are you attacking me? Oh, because I went inside your home. Stop. Oh, she's not going to stop. Okay, so she looks fine. Very similar to vanilla. I always forget how beautiful this game is. Yeah, right, and this is like once... I mean, I was kind of talking about this on the last stream, bloviating about it. With the exception of like these models for like the armor and stuff. This is all vanilla weathers and flora. Really no graphical enhancements at all going on here. Besides like SMIM and stuff like that. You have any thoughts on the Wrath of Nature mod? I'd like to play it role-playing as Alteration, Restoration, Wanderer. I'm not familiar. They're inside the log house. Oh, thanks, Morlock. Gotcha. I'm not familiar with it. I can check it out. Or maybe I am and I just don't remember. Let's go ahead and look at Pandorables. She might be a... Or no, sorry, it was Baijin on this one, right? So she's probably going to be a war maiden. Can always tell. Ugor, yes. So I'm going to look manually because I don't want to accidentally Control F down to where those boobies are at. There we go. Same thing. Like, okay, that looks cool. It really does. I wish there was a way to like take her face and not the hair. You know? We can try. I don't know what happens then, though. You know what? It's just like, that's not what orc hair... Is there any orc that you guys can think of that has hair in any of the Elder Scrolls games, or even ESO, that has like hair anywhere similar to this? What plans for tree, floor, grass you pick based on performance? I do pick based on the performance, Morlock, but also on the appearance. I can show you the full build. I think it looks really good, honestly, right now. So I have enhanced vanilla trees and what is it called? What's the grass overhaul? The verdant, which to me still looks the best. Also some of 3D plants, and on like the quote-unquote ultra preset, I might still go with Maddie's trees, the 3D trees, because they look so good. But there is a severe performance impact. So that'll be relegated only to the most powerful PCs for sure. It's just a mod to shapeshift into Skyrim creatures. That's cool. Like Druid. Next ES game is so much to live up to, and genuinely understand why Bethesda is so hesitant to drop info. One wrong move or out of place pixel. Oh yeah. I mean, it's rough. And I think about this a lot, especially as I go through, you know, record by record, looking at all the stuff that's in these games. I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion or not, but like Bethesda really does deserve credit for what they've made. I think sometimes we take for granted all the work that it takes to even get these worlds like up and running as they are even before mods. I'm not saying there aren't things that Bethesda should kind of take care of that they don't, especially in the realm of bugs. But there's a lot that they do right, and a lot that is easy to take for granted about the worlds that they create and stuff. Face is great. Hair is a no-go. Yeah, so I don't even know if... Let's see what happens if we try to keep the face and not the hair. Because a lot of the time that causes problems, like face morphs, I think. Sounds like racial stereotypes to me. It is of sorts, but you know, different races have different hairs. That's just reality. Orsimer is the cursed race. So if you're the cursed race, that means you can't have good hair? Bummer. Sucks. No doubt the next ES game will be amazing, regardless of my opinion on Beth these days. Yeah, I think so too. I am more worried than I have been in the past. I don't know. Maybe just because I'm older and I've been around for a little bit longer and kind of seen you know, the stuff that they've put out since. It'll be very interesting to see. I am, of course, very stoked. What advice can you give me for modding correctly? I'm a beginner. Well, what is it that you're trying to do, Kashirama? Anything in particular, I can give you advice there, or I can point you towards people who have more knowledge and expertise than I do in whatever field you're looking at. Get ready for Elder Scrolls 76. I don't think they'll do that. See, like, 76 is the obvious thing to point at, to be like a little bit worried, because it was so... It does have such a cool framework, or like it is such a cool idea, the idea of exploring one of these worlds with friends, but it's like they did that, and then they also just try to turn it into this massive games as a service, like milk every cent as greedily as we can out of the players. It definitely felt like more of a upper management trying to appease shareholders project by the end. The biggest issue is they have so much money. The buggy sandbox to play in that Bethesda did for Skyrim Oblivion will work in a world we have Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher 3. Totally. Bethesda still hasn't figured out how to make ladders climbable. Just like, I mean, God, I don't know if that's an animation dig, Halgari, but like, the animations in this engine are just so bad. But the bugginess is where they get the least of a pass, in my mind. Because so many of them are not easy to fix, but some of them are easy to fix, and then other ones are like easy enough, and you just figure when they've been around, like we have these super basic bugs that just persist through every update. It's like, what the heck, guys? You know what I mean? Never remove a mod mid-game. Yeah, I mean, that's true. ESO is very microtransaction heavy. None of it is game breaking. Pretty much all visual. Sure. But I mean, ESO to me, I don't like theme park MMOs in general. I respect what it is, and I think it's cool for people. I respect that a theme park MMO can even survive. I think that they are not easy to produce and maintain and, you know, make profitable. I recognize they need to be profitable in order to continue existing. And it's not easy to do. I think that the reason that you have like Elder Scrolls, like really what are the only functioning theme park MMOs really right now? It's of course WoW, which just kind of captured most of that market and has more or less kept it. Then you have ESO and Final Fantasy 14, which I think were almost kind of like initial, maybe not failures, but, and I'm not even counting like Final Fantasy 14, the original one, which was like a straight up failure, but like A Realm Reborn. Final Fantasy 14 now and ESO now, I think, have very dedicated player bases and are somehow managing to maintain, you know, profitability. And I think that's very impressive for a theme park MMO in this day and age. They're just not for me, personally. Needing sub to have unlimited crafting bag is pretty game breaking to me. Sure. Final Fantasy 14 is fun. Todd said back in 2012 they hire full stack devs, which means the same person will build out an entire quest line. All the quest level design, which means Bethesda employs jack of all trades who really don't excel at anything. It could be, you have more, obviously far more familiarity with that kind of side of things, Halgari, than I do. It's like, this is the only development job I've ever had, really. It was a good idea, modding Skyrim SE on Vortex. I do not preface this with, I actually have never used Vortex myself. Maybe it's fine for what it does. I couldn't tell you. All I know is that Mod Organizer 2 is my go-to. It's what I recommend to everybody. To me, it is just the vastly, I won't say superior. I'll say it has every little bit of functionality that I have ever wanted. It is, by and large, the safest, most stable platform. It retains the integrity of your install better than anything else, as far as I know. It's fantastic. It's like it's kind of complex at first for people, I think, because it looks kind of intimidating, but it's really not once you get your mind around how it works. And once you do, it's like the best modding tool that's out there. MO2's professional tool user, Ban Vortex. What do you think about Wabbajack? Wabbajack is great. You ask Halgari about it. He's the lead developer. Something unrelated, but what I've been wondering for a while is whether it will be possible beyond Skyrim with the US at some point. That would be great. Damsel lacking distress. Gotcha. Wabbajack is trash. Yes, of course. No, it's really amazing. It's I would recommend a Nexus sub for any of like the automation, because it's like it's just so much better. It's just so much easier to like the beauty of it is the way that it just handles everything for you, right? And like having to download. I know that you guys, right, Halgari, you added the ability to manually download it, or like manually download and then Wabbajack does it. But like just pay the Nexus sub, because then you just get to watch it go and just installs it. And it's great. It's really the only way. I mean, these automation apps, you know, like Automaton and then Wabbajack are, in my mind, the answer to making modding accessible for people. It's just, it really is kind of like a whole new world with stuff like that. Hey CT, how you doing? Let's try Vortex, went back to MO2. I'd be interested to try it, just to see kind of how it does things. I think that the problem is that there's different goals, right? Like the Nexus's goal is to create a unified framework that works across every single game that they have on the Nexus. And as far as I know, Vortex does a good job at that. That's a really gnarly thing. Like, it's an accomplishment for sure. MO2, by contrast, is specialized for like Skyrim or, you know, Fallout, I believe. And it just, there's really nothing better for like hardcore Skyrim modding to me. We mostly added non-premium just so people would stop asking for it. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. I don't like about Wabjack is the massive size of Wabjack files. Oh yeah, what was the reason for that? I can't remember if I mean, I don't know what goes in. That's all wizardry to me, you guys know that. Alright, what was I doing? Yeah, I have a lifetime sub now. It did pay for itself, and like the amount of, just between like building out, you know, like the builds for Ultimate Skyrim, like the amount of mods that I auto download is just nuts. So it was well worth it for me. Oh yeah, we're gonna try and see, this will be an interesting one. Okay, so let's carry this over. I mean, it's already taking place there, and let's see what happens. Head texture, I don't want that. Hair. Okay, actually we're gonna have to remove this. This binary patch creates a patch file as nothing demands they're that large, and for curated lists we do offer a high bandwidth CDN. Oh, so is the idea that if when we're building out a list, Halgari, if we don't do that many things that require binary patching, then the file will be smaller. Is that correct? Wouldn't recommend checking Darkest Dungeons mod if you don't reach 18. A lot of disturbing stuff. Whoa. They want to support their testing Darkest Dungeon. Oh, I was thinking like the Skyrim mod. I like Darkest Dungeon. That's a fun game. It's funny that that's like a super 18 plus game. Have you read the guide of Scimitar Gaming for modding? Yes, I have, Kashirama. I cannot in good conscience recommend anything that Scimitar's guide. I think that Scimitar's guides can be a good resource for super cool mods. Like, I think he has a lot of cool mods listed in the guides. I do not recommend following the like, I believe he still uses like Nexus Mod Manager or something, and I don't know if he does any like conflict resolution. I've heard really a lot of not great things about kind of the stability of the builds you end up with. I'll preface that by saying I've never used like a build that was made from his guides, so like, you know, your mileage may vary. I also personally, Scimitar is a difficult individual, we'll say. Like, I've been banned from his Discord. I think Halgari has been banned from his Discord. Yes, he's, we'll call it a divisive figure in the community. Okay, let me see. Alright, so if I just get rid of hair female orc. Boom. Then get rid of the hair here. Alright, so let's see what happens if we do this. In which case, we might actually be able to go back and change the other orcish lady. Yep, I was banned for asking why he banned my friend. Wonderful. I was banned for actually, as far as I can tell, no reason. For those who don't know the story, when I first launched Ultimate Skyrim, it had the name Requiem Reborn. It was just like a Requiem mod pack. The Requiem developers reached out to me and asked if I could change the name because they were afraid that people might get confused by, like, not really, they maybe think it's like a re-release of Requiem or something. So I was like, yeah, totally. So I changed the name to, oh, that was the sub, that's what it was. The full name was Requiem Reborn Ultimate Skyrim or something like really wordy like that. So then I dropped the Requiem Reborn part and just named it Ultimate Skyrim. Very shortly thereafter, I got a bunch of messages from Sinitar about how he didn't actually say that he was mad about the name, but as it turns out, his mods or his list was named similarly, and so he was like accusing me of stealing the name or like stealing his thunder or something like that, and I had never even heard of it. But he was like, oh, it was not fun. He was like accusing me of being like a mod thief or like saying that the mod list didn't work. It was just like suddenly in my DMs there was like this guy going wild and like going off, and I was like, what is happening here? And I thought we like resolved that, where I was like, it's chill, like everything's good. And then at some point I joined his Discord and then was just immediately banned. So oops. And I thought I was like, for a long time I was the only one who really had this kind of experience. And it really, like, I don't like to fuel drama or anything like that. The only reason I mention it is that now I'm kind of comfortable saying it because over the years I've been doing this, a lot of other people have come forward to me or like spoken about how they've had really unpleasant experiences like dealing with them. So I'm kind of like, okay, at least there seems to be like a pattern here and I'm not crazy. Okay, so let's save this. Oh, wait, shit. Okay, and here's what we got to do. Here's an important part, and I constantly forget this, is while I'm doing this, I got to close the game first, because if I try and close Xedit without doing that, then it'll fail. A drama in the mod community is only just includes the word ultimate. Absolutely hates Requiem. Oh, fun. Sorry, the original Ultimate Skyrim is the Thomas the Tank Engine video. Absolutely. Frankly, that should be the only Ultimate Skyrim. Like, Ultimate Skyrim, it's an okay name. It's fine. It's like really generic in and of itself, right? And like I don't think it does a great job of communicating the type of experience that you end up getting with Ultimate Skyrim, because to me, that in retrospect, Ultimate Skyrim almost kind of implies like a vanilla plus experience, and that's really not what Ultimate Skyrim is or what Requiem is. I guess it's Ultimate Skyrim in my mind because this is like what Skyrim would be if I were like the, making the calls on it, but I can see how it doesn't quite fit. But it definitely was not like, I was not trying to intentionally steal his name or whatever. I'd never even heard of him. But I don't know. Evidently he felt differently. Blocked all access to him. I don't have time for people being unjustly cruel and personal, people who are literally just asking a friendly question. Yeah, I mean, I empathize with like mod authors or whatever getting fed up with questions, but it's different than that. And like he's just been really unjustifiably rude, not just to me, but like to a lot of other people. And then came the part where people started saying like, like modders who I very much respect were like, be very wary of the guides themselves. Like, you won't end up with a stable game. I really can't attest to that part because I have not used them. I've looked at his mods to be like, oh, here's some cool mods. So I think that like his taste in mods is pretty cool, or like I found cool stuff that way. But beyond that, I just don't, not for me. Put a reference to that video in US. Oh, I really should. My boy Dunk. What an entertainer. By the way, will USSE have similar hardware requirements to US for LE? I would say the core version will, CT, if not even less. It's kind of hard for me to say. I'm going to have to like put it out there because it does have some graphical improvements, right? Like these kind of count, but I don't really improve the body meshes themselves. So it's just the faces. They'll have more polys, but hopefully that won't be too much. And beyond that, it's pretty similar. And of course, SE runs better. So what I'll have to do is get the core build out, and then we'll have people with different, machines test it, and we'll kind of report back their performance. And then I can make kind of like an informed call. But that's what I'm going for. I'm trying to make it as accessible as possible. Oh my God, look at Mule. It's pretty cool. But it's very supermodel. All right. Well, so let's check to see how this shakes out. I can also, it's going to be a little weird, but I will throw back on all of the graphics mods. It's not sorted, but we can show you kind of what that looks like. Alright, so I'm going to take this and put it over here so I can kind of see which NPCs to look at. And then who was that? That was, what was her name? Borg. Was that it? Where's she at? Oh yeah, Borgak. Oh no. This one? Wives? Who is the one we were just looking at? Was it Urug? How did we lose it? Ugor. There we go. So I'll look at Ugor, because she should have her vanilla hair and not that one, but I have a feeling it's going to mess up everything. Like the face tint's going to be weird. Ugor. Let's find out. Skyrim's in French. Do you think it's okay to have the two unofficial patch, England and French? I don't know, unfortunately. I know that having different language settings can mess with stuff. But I mean, there's... Would you need... Why would you need two? Or like, could you just use the French one, right? And I feel like get away with it. Fairly certain. Just download Wabjack. Love the US is literally the only mod pack. No, isn't there another one for LE? I swear I just looked the other day and there was like a new one. It was, well, it's for Enderall, so that doesn't count, I guess. It's another thing I gotta play. Eola's hair in Baijin, I hate it so much. It's very much like a model's hairstyle, you know? This port to Unreal Engine 5 can't be that hard. Oh, of course. Wig rejecting by Raiden during Metal Gear Solid 2. Found a really cool NPC replace it. Isn't supermodel style sad. It doesn't have many NPCs. What is it, CT? I generally just... That's why Waiko really is... I think it should be kind of like the foundation of anyone's NPC appearance changes. It is... Just because it covers so many people, and it just does like a good job of like keeping the vanilla feel with vastly updated appearances or like edits. Oh yeah, isn't Baijin Uthgerd, she's pretty like hot or something, right? She's sick and she's hot. Enhanced NPCs. You know what? Here, also I wanted to look at, what was the name of that mod? The one you transform, you shapeshift. I swear I've like heard of it before. I'm gonna scroll up here. I need to make chat bigger. I need to pop out stream chat. I can't find it. Who even knows? I don't know. But I'll look it up. Did I look at this one before? Oh, it looks new. Oh wow, that does look really good. Who dis? Oh, I do like these a lot. Oh, I did download this mod. Or maybe it was one of the Wabjack lists. It must have been like totals. Here. We'll find out in a second. All in one. I'll just, you know, we bop in the merge. And then the beauty is like you can always just selectively choose, right? Update file Madonna. Okay. So we need these hot fixes. Or wait a second. Oh no, whoops. I guess I should get this one then. Oopsie. I can unlock this. I'm gonna cancel those. See, that's why you always check the version numbers. No, 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 don't do it. No, stop. Oops, I broke it. Which mod do you use for the girl skin? I let Windsong do stuff, and then I let Baijin and Pandora do stuff, so probably Baijin applies it across everybody. The other one has an ESP for each NPC. Oh, wonderful. Are they at least ESL flagged? I don't mind that otherwise, but, you know. This one is just like, I just want to have to download a billion things. 31 May, 20th May. So I want to download this, I guess. And then download this. What? Yeah. Wait. Optional files. Okay, but so are these all included in... This is confusing to me, the way that these downloads are structured. Oh, cool. Let's take a look. John Battleborn, baby-faced wannabe bard. Alvor, looking cool. Brynjolf. Tolfdir. Earl Idgrod. Oh. See, some of these. Yar Elisif. We do have a lot of like edits to these. I can always look at this later. Who's this? Viarmo. Oh, Delphine. I fucking hate this guy. He's such a dick. Alright, here we go. You don't need the optional. I feel you. I thought maybe just the optionals, like, you know. The individual mods not included in the faux mod. Alright, start a new game. Bioshock vibes on Idgrolf the older and the younger. Yeah, totally. ESL flags. What a wonder for modding. Oh, I forgot we had the Morrowind music in the background. On my eyes. You guys have this problem where you forget to blink? I do this all the time. I don't know where it started from. It happens especially when I'm playing games that are very Twitch skill involved and require you to really pay attention. But I just, every once in a while, I'll blink and it'll hurt. And I realize I haven't blinked in a long time. I don't know why. It's not, and I end up like, my eyes are always bleeding. Like at the end of every work day. It's just strange. Alright. No thank you. Beautiful. Go race. Of course, we're going to do dark elf female. Look at this. Blind. No, whoops. There we go. Nice, nice. Cool. Alright, there it is. What's her name? What's her name? First name. Ow. Barb. There it is. It's like Chris Chan's mom. Good old Barbara Chandler. Ruckersville, Virginia. From Stranger Things. Justice for Barb. Who put this here? Hello. Okay, I don't want to inspect a fresh animal carcass. That sounds gross. How about that? Alright, let me alt-tab up my... There we go. Okay, so first one I want to check is... Ugor, sorry. Set game hour to 12. And it's nice and clear. Good lighting, right? Maybe set game hour to 9. That way we get directional lighting. And I want to... Uh-oh. Done. Boom. Alright. Help. Ugor. Player.place at me. 9E, 1A. Let's see what she looks like. Wait. Done. What? Oh yeah, this... Yeah, okay, so she has... the face tint issue, but it does look like her... Okay, it looks like the hair is not being placed at all. See, I knew it wasn't quite this simple. There's like other shit you gotta do, and this is not my area of expertise. Oh well, it was worth learning, I suppose. Alright, let's check out these NPCs. Gana and Gemma are the first ones. They are typically... Here, I'm gonna go to Whiterun, Exterior 01. Somewhere it's not gonna start snowing. Maybe easier for compatibility to take a more appropriate hair shape from another PAM model. You can't, like, this is where it gets confusing, is like, hair, there's stuff you have to do. Uh-oh, what was that? I can't see, I've got my thing in the way. Sacroletius is raiding with a party of 4. Oh my gosh. Thank you for the raid, Sacroletius. Boom. Hello, hello, hello. So there's more stuff you have to do with hair. It's like when you assign a hairstyle, you also have to like generate face gen or something. It's maybe not as complex as I'm making it out to be. I just don't know what it is. It's not my area of expertise. I need to kind of like look into it a little bit. You know what I mean? Okay, so who's up first? Genna and Gamma, whatever it is. Excuse me. Okay. You go here. No. Dang it. There we go. I'm gonna make this bring it a little bit. Only got so many monitors to mess with here. Okay. Help. Uriel. Player.place at me. 1365D. And then 14040. 3D, 3D, 3D. What's up, guys?
Here for work. Get an axe and bring me all the wood.
Okay, stop moving though. So I can... Oh wait, shit. No, whoops. Not toggle free camera. Toggle collision. Shit. Again. There we go. It's always sunny in Winterhold, right?
Seen the remnants of the grove? That?
Why am I so short? Oh, there we go.
Me and my sister.
Okay, so she's looking... The problem is these are supposed to be like miners. Like they're like literally in the mines. Why am I so short? Oh, do it. Oh, because I have collision toggled. Duh. They do not look like miners. They look cool, but they look like supermodels. You know what I mean? What do you guys think? Do these look like they'd be working in the mines all day? These. Do these women. They look like they'd be walking a catwalk to me. Doing some CK stuff, adding another overhaul to Falkreath. Great city of Falkreath, the top of ETAC, perfect Falkreath, Imperial Falkreath, JK. My gosh, I know that your Falkreath is crazy, Sacroletius. I'd love to see it. There's got to be a new TV show, Always Sunny in Winterhold. Which mod is that? Yeah, these do not look like... I think the appearance looks really cool, but I think for these ones, I'm actually going to be reverting. Where's my mouse? There's my mouth. Mouth. Say revert. Or better, just a not be click. I'm going to go Wyco. Be working in the mines, supervising the workers. Maybe, but they're definitely not supervisors. They're definitely just straight up miners. And they mine, and they're poor, and they complain about it. Alright, next up. Who we got? Oh, no, wait. Dravinia, the Stoneweaver. Help. COC. No. Player.place at me. Oh, there's 2 versions of her. Interesting. Shit, which version did we edit? Damn, she's not gonna take her hood off. Let's see if the other version's any different. 4018447. Okay, so that's... Wait, hold still. Stop moving. Okay, that's not the one. I mean, she looks fine, right? If she doesn't take her hood off, I just can't tell what the hair looks like. That's alright. So she's good, more or less. Can I... Shit, is there a way I can, like, pickpocket her or something? You disable. I can't take off her, like... Well, here, I can do this. I don't think she's gonna die, though. I think she's essential. Yep. Alright, whatever. She looks fine. I think it looks A-okay. Alright. Idra. Walking the catwalk, everyone. Place at me. 13662.
Did you see my husband already? I'm sorry. He can come off a bit rough at times.
She looks fine, right? Innkeeper. She looks very sad, but...
Hope you stay for a bit. We could certainly use the business.
What's up with her mouth? It's like very wide. But, I don't know, it looks good to me. Looks fine. Definitely not all that much to concern you with.
Just look at the view.
Her eyebrows. It's kind of odd. Yeah, I can always...
Got some nice company to the great wood
I don't know. What do you guys think? I think this one's fine. Not really worth messing with all that much. Like, it's as fine as Waiko would be, in my mind. Okay, Aniki Crag Jumper. Oh, gosh. Help. Place at me. Give yourself shush 100. Oh, yeah. You're right.
Get an axe and bring me.
Here. Player dot floor salve. Pickpocket. No, actually, I want to advance. Advanced skill. Pickpocket. By 10,000. Wow. How about that? Should turn the Riverwood Trader into a mess to simulate a break-in. Oh, thank God. And added the option to help Lucan clean up for a few coins. Oh, that's cute. You can just fetch the claw and he'll clean it up himself. Sacrilegious, that is the perfect tweet, because I always, like... It took me so long to even realize that he was supposed to be referring to a break-in. You walk in and he's like, oh, I'm sorry for the mess. And I'm like, what? Like, there's no mess at all. There's maybe like one thing turned over. Hey, Bert, how you doing? It's like those memes that went around for like some of like the smaller earthquakes we have, and it's just like a chair has fallen over, like a lawn chair. It's like, wow, we survived. I really shouldn't talk shit though. I'm inviting we're due for a big earthquake here in California sometime soon. Very scary. Look how healthy I am. Oops. Oh yeah, now we get to listen to the level up sound a billion times. Pickpocket. Yeah, here. Cut purse. Keymaster. Wait, no, there. Misdirections. There we go. Okay, check this out. Wait, here we go. I think I'm pickpocketing. How am I hidden? Oh, dang it, now we need another Dravnia. Hold up. There she is. Look, I'm so good at pickpocketing. You don't even know about it. Come on. Who's still looking at me? Is it you? No. Get out of here. What? Whatever, I'm gonna do it anyway. Grey Cowl. Took it. Oh, wow. Look at that. Okay, so she looks hot. Don't get me wrong, but this doesn't look out of place to me. It looks pretty cool. And especially because she's like wearing the hood. It's like one of those scenes out of a movie, right? Where like someone takes off her hair and you don't think it's like, oh my god, like she's actually super hot. Like what? Alright, so that's fine to me. Who else do we got? Aniki Crag Jumper. Did I spawn her already? I can't remember. Oh god. Oh, I forgot. This is not gonna perform super well because this is my stream. Also, they do not like it when you're... Uh-oh. Here, let's go like this. The QA smoke test cell kind of sucks in terms of lighting. You know, what's a... Japheth's Folly test cell. A new jumping improvement mod. What the H? A1A. Kill all. Now everyone's dead. Get rid of this cloud. Get rid of the cloud. It's not working. Whatever. I'm gonna do TCL. Ah, come on. There we go. Yeah, it's like that. It was hard for me to read, Prince Wolf. Alright, this is good enough. Right? FOV 90. There we go. You CGI the animations glitch a bit. Oh, they do that with women. You can tell they're hot, and they use supermodel hair reveal once they unbun their nerdy librarian hair. Meanwhile, they never do that with men. At best, they just give Clark Kent glasses. They no longer attract any woman in Metropolis. Yeah, it's because men, we don't have big old luscious hair to unfurl. You kind of, it's like the second you see a dude, you kind of know what they look like. You know what I mean? It's harder to like. And also, maybe it's a statement about the expectations of women or whatever too, because it's like they also do it in the movies where it's like, you know, you'll have like frumpy Anne Hathaway in Princess Diaries, like never wears any makeup and like her hair is all crazy or whatever, and then it's like, oh, but when she puts on makeup and like they do her hair all crazy, it's like, oh dang, like whoa, she's so hot. It's like, how come men aren't expected to wear makeup, huh? Oh yeah, you're right. CT, that is exactly the equivalent. It's when the nerd guy removes his shirt and he's super buff. Yes, and you're just like, oh, because he just looks all like unassuming otherwise. I guess there is an equivalent, sorta. Most of these clouds look really good. Is it just me? Okay, who do we got? Aniki. Isn't that like the Japanese word for bro? Reminds me of Gurren-Lagann. 13666. No, not COC. Okay. I mean, she looks cool. It's just same thing. She looks like a supermodel.
If you're heading to Kynes Grove, stick to the road.
Oh, I don't like the here wet and cold. Please stop. Lunch Lady Doris, have you got any grease? Wet, cold, status disabled, cold.
Here and there.
Stop. There we go. What do you guys think? I mean, what's she's supposed to like work in a mine too? It's like
I used to love exploring before we got married. Now he's become a bit of a milk drinker.
it just seems like, how would you maintain that hairstyle? Yeah, exactly. It's her hair. Like her face, I mean, she does look like a sim. She's like kind of, it's almost like a, I don't know, like exaggerated features. I think this one I'm gonna have to revert as well. Say Wyco. See, this is why we check. To avoid scenarios like this. Like, you could always, like, change her hair, too, I guess. But once again, I don't know how to do that. Oh, geez, sorry. She does look very... well, she is supposed to be, like, kind of sad. She's, like, bored, right? But it's, like, her face is, like, I don't think it's intentional. She's, like... It's just kind of her default face. Okay. Hurt and Hearn. The hair is the hardest part. Most people making hairs from Skyrim are either importing from The Sims to make them look like supermodel hair. Yeah, I mean, that's why I like KS hairdos. There are, like, supermodel hairs, but there are also a fair amount that just... Like mine right here, right? Like, that's a KS hairdo's hair, I'm pretty sure. Let's double check. And I think it looks great. In fact, I know it is because it's vanilla. And I have the vanilla hair replacer for KS hairdos. Or maybe it's not. Maybe I turned that off. I can't remember. Yeah, it is. Barb. And then you can apply to all the NPCs like some amount of dirt on their face, or is it all person specific? It would be person specific, I would say. Sacroletes, I use Hallgarth. Instead of hair, thought about making my own hairs to do it. Yeah, she looks straight up like a model. Oh, I think she just had that expression because of what she was saying. Because like now she looks kind of normal.
Yes?
Oh, she got some boobies too. I feel like that's... look at that though, right?
Need something?
I don't know, she does look like... There's just such detail applied to her face that it feels like a shame to get rid of it.
Stick to the road. Some pretty dangerous caves between here and there.
Yeah, those boobies are a bit much. I don't know. What do you guys think? This one's tougher for me.
Exploring before we got married. Now he's become a bit of a milk drinker. Likes to stay home.
Jeez, look at that. That's too... It's like... ridiculous proportion. She was an adventurer. I don't know. This one's a tough call.
If you head straight west from where the White River splits towards White River,
Retired and owns... Oh, she owns the mine. Well, a mine owner could theoretically have enough money to, like, you know, care about or like mess with their appearance. Yeah, maybe she really takes care of it. It just doesn't it seem like a shame to, like, because it's clearly so much effort like went into this character's appearance. It's like this is like main character status. You know what I mean? So I don't want to. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it. So, hello guys. Recently made a post in the Ultimate Skyrim server. Got a problem with my installation. Person can check the post out. Give me some advice. I can try and take a look at it after. Call me. Or maybe I don't know. Might reduce that bus size just a little bit. No, nothing against. You know what? Maybe we'll just leave it. Just I feel like it almost feels like exploitative in a weird way. Okay, who's up next? Hurt and Hearn. I know them. Help Hurt. Place at me. These guys, I wrote down that these ones might especially be over beautified, so we'll see. See, if you're on the Discord, there's a support channel. There's a lot of help. Oh, hello.
Hearn and I do so adore guests. These guards are such a bore.
Okay.
Guest, oh my.
She's same thing. She's supposed to be like an outdoorsman kind of person. She looks like a bit much.
Patrols never seem to give us time to be alone. The nosy pests.
And like that hair looks kind of unrealistic to me.
Need something?
Got the dead mom hair. What is that?
Need something?
You know what we should do? We should here, let me get a screen cap real fast to use for the thumbnail. I always forget to do this.
Dangerous caves between
Here.
here and there.
Let's go. Stop making that face. You make the regular face again.
Turner used to love exploring.
That is without Salt and Wind. This one I don't think is Salt and Wind. It kind of looks like it might be. It's hard to tell. In anime, the mom will have hair like that. Gotcha. Vampires are immortal. Hey, hello, Miss Lady. Trying to get her to stop making that expression.
If you head straight west from where the White River splits towards White
Stop talking
you can get a look at the cradle
and have a neutral. Oh, sorry. Whatever. So she does. She looks like scared.
Need something?
There we go. There's the neutral expression. Let's go ahead and grab it while we can. That's the one I'm looking for.
Need something?
All right. Does mom make all vampire NPCs have consistent eyes? And one thing that drives me crazy when some vamps are different than the others. I don't know. I actually prefer when the eyes are different because I don't like the idea that you can just see who a vampire is like based on their eyes alone. I know that it gives Pandorables gives Hurt and Hearn like very obvious vampire eyes. Hairstyles have been elaborate forever with long hair, braiding, accessories. It's true. It's very true. I don't know. All right, what's your guys' opinion on Hurt here? Once again, she's interesting looking. It's just a question of if it's like a bit much. I mean, she's a vampire, and vampires are all, you know, got plenty of time to worry about appearance and whatnot. All right, Hearn. One 1367B. This guy.
Oh my, a guest.
I do not like his hair at all. Just looks fine.
Please make yourself at home.
Gotta have pretty vampires for sure. Vampires might need to have a good appearance to seduce victims. Fair point.
Lone traveler.
Every movie I've seen, all lady vampires are hot. It's true. It's discriminatory even. Alright, well, we can leave her then, I suppose.
Looking for someone to join.
This dude, I mean, he fits the same thing. The Hurt hair is plausible. Is it really? His eyes look like piss holes in snow. Hey, Kane dude, how you doing? Well, I mean, here, I guess they can, it's equal opportunity. They both have to be hot vampires in order to seduce, right?
Yes.
I just guess it doesn't look that bad. It's just like, why is it staying like that?
Good afternoon.
Just because also, you know what? I checked the Waiko version of these guys before. They looked pretty cool. I can keep her. I think I'm going to revert young Hurt here. Just because I'm not into, it's almost like anime hair to me. Which I'm not in for. Alright, let's see. Okay, there we go. Excuse me. Alright. I'm fine with all vampires being hot. It's hard for me to decide. I can't tell if that hair is too much or if it's plausible. I don't know. I don't really do that much with my hair. Beautiful vampires, so I feel better stabbing them. It just feels almost like comical. But I don't, like maybe his hair, it's like going too far out this way, right? Like it wouldn't stay. It feels like it would go down. He kind of looks like me. Oh man, I think I should take that as a compliment. Look at my vampire eyes. Wait, hold on. Let me fix my hair. It's floopy. Hold on. Wait here. Do my eyes look like it? Here, let's get a what's it called? Side by side. There you go. Is it me? Long history of what vampires started out as in movies, old movies like Nosferatu. They're literal monsters. How Interview with the Vampire Twilights turned it all into. His hair is anime. All right, I feel you. Ugh. I don't like the way he just grinned at us. I'm gonna die. A guest? Oh my. All right, so I think I'm gonna revert Hurt, but Hearn can stay. Right? Wait. No, sorry. Yeah, no, Hurt we want to keep. Hearn is the one we want to revert. Why? This is weird named. Hey, Kane Do. All right, who else we got? Grelka. Oh, this one we can just go straight to Riften. I don't want to though. God, my brain is falling apart. I haven't eaten lunch, guys. Player dot place at me. 136 C5. They have like an island of hotties here.
Speak.
Fucking Keira Knightley up in here. Okay, so she looks realistic enough. She got like pursed lips where she looks mean, and she is mean. Grelka's like the meanest. Oops.
Come back when you're ready to spend more gold. Goodness knows.
My baby Grelka. I like her. Yeah, I'm keeping her appearance. She looks, I mean, she looks pretty, right? But like, she can look pretty. No crime against being pretty. And she's mean for people who are into that.
I haven't got all day.
Alright. Sundere. Alright, who else we got? Shell. Place at me. 13V7D. Oh, here's another,
I am Borgo's favorite wife. He knows my beauty should be praised.
Okay, well, so she's supposed to be beautiful. Step on me? Yeah, she's a sales assistant. That's true. Her was kidnapped and companion Radiant Quest. She killed most bandits herself. Whoa. Okay, so once again, we have an argument here where can orcs have hair like this? Like, I have just not seen it. And if so, okay, how do we give them different hair? I don't know how it works. But it's like, okay, she's supposed to be, you know, the beautiful wife. Strong orc ladies can step on me. Oh, gosh. Have we all awoken something within ourselves today? Because, like, it is beautiful, and she looks beautiful. I don't know. Orcs are supposed to be warriors, right? Yeah, but she's like she's just...
Arab and Gara eye me with envy. They don't know how to please their chief.
She just mentions how she's supposed to be, like, hot. I don't know how much, like, fighting she does. But, yeah, I don't know. We gotta figure out a way to... She is the chief's wife. Yeah, she said she is. And, like, she just talked about how she's, like, better at pleasing him. You put on a different haircut for orcs, go and change them individually on these. That will require 10 times the work of face gen. I don't know what... Like, Hazard, I mean, like, long sort of humanoid, traditional humanoid hair. Right? Like this kind of long flowing locks. Like this. Or that. Orcs or warriors, hair is like that at a killer. You can take it and pull. She had like dreads or something rough. Yes. I mean, that's what all the rest of them aren't. Chief wives supposed to be blacksmith. Maybe she's both. In which case you wouldn't want hair like this if you're working a forge. But he did say that he has other wives, or she said that he has other wives. Okay, but so, you know what? Why don't we look really fast, like, how to change NPC hair. Alright, so I copied. Problem with some of these overhauls isn't that they're pretty, it's the overdone makeup and styled hair. It makes them look like they belong in Victoria's Secret's runway, not Skyrim. Making them sexy is fine. You wait for you to dial down the makeup. You can remove the tints, but I would point out that makeup does exist canonically in Elder Scrolls, and also has existed like since forever. Like makeup is stuff people have done for sure. Orcs would tend towards braids or warrior cuts. Yeah, for sure. Hold on a second. Airbrushes do not. I couldn't like tell the difference between airbrushed makeup and like other makeup. You got to be in the CK, huh? Okay, so this person did exactly what we did. Sort of. Wait a second. Yeah, saw their old hair and even color. You see the plug and make sure it's custom face. Oh yeah, okay, so this is what we need. Look for canon pictures of orcs. There's some with more normal hair. Really? CT. Second era, orcs had nicer hair. Elder Scrolls Online has orcs with regular humanoid hair. Oh shit. Well, if that's true, then we might be able to not bother with it, right? It's like, right, it's not breaking canon to have regular hair. So it's like, I don't mind if someone's like a warrior. It like, okay, so where was that one? There was that one orc lady who like was straight up like a warrior. Like, it doesn't make sense to me to have her have hair like this. But if this lady's job is literally just to be like the hot wife, then like, all right, I can see that. We're gonna make a detailed guide now. General steps are backup. Blah 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 blah. Oh my god. So it is the same. It's just you got to export the face gen data, I guess. British shorter haircuts. Say the plugin before closing. So in face gen data is create 3 files. So it does. It creates the whole other mesh. That's why we didn't see it. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save this tutorial and keep that in mind. Historically correct Viking haircuts are Subian not. Even the excessive makeup makes sense. Orcs don't wear it normally. She wouldn't know how to apply it properly. But she's doing it to please you. Yeah, it's like if I put on makeup. It's like, don't quite know. Is that really excessive? It seems like a lot of blush. That's blush, right? God, doesn't she look like Keira Knightley? Look, wait, here. Bam. Grelka. My gosh. Alright.
Need something?
Best hairs for orcs to be something more Redguard than regular human. Yeah, it makes sense to me too. Alright, well, I'll say that I'll figure out, I should know how to change someone's hairstyle anyway. It's like a skill that I would like to have. Live with Keira Knightley Grelka. Let's check through the rest of these. Where's my... Here we go. Ysolda. Oh yeah, you know what? Megan Fox. That is kind of who I was thinking of. She's like a cross between Megan Fox and Keira Knightley, maybe. Oh wait, no. Help Ysolda. 1-3 bad. Whoop. Oh, she's cute. The Orcs and Warcraft movie. Okay, I like hers too, because she just like hangs around in Whiterun, right? Doesn't look as dumb as Megan Fox though. Ouch.
Once I've made enough money trading with the Khajiit,
Cute shop girl, sales assistant. Totally. Alright, so we'll keep this one. I think she looks fine. Looks like everyone's got lips like this. This is what I need to do. I'll ask my wife if I'm more attractive if I go like this. What do you guys think? Am I doing it? Wait, no. It's got to be more subtle, like that. So, do I look like I could be a shopkeeper? All right. All right? So she's good. Help. Vold. See, she sells skooma. That's wild. Well, see, appearances are deceiving. Play it out, play it me. 4-4. Well, let's see. Island of Hotties.
I'm a sailor on the North Wind. We're laying over in Windhelm for a while.
Okay, so this one's cool because she will generally be,
It's good to spend some time on solid land.
so her hair is, it's pretty striking, right? It's not quite like sailor hair, but she almost always will have a hood on, I would say. It was kind of like having her hair like tied up.
Do a lot of walking when we dock.
It's very red. I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Captain Kiar expects the best, but he's a fair man. He never fails to reward hard work and loyalty.
I don't know. The color somehow makes it look...
I'm waiting.
Let me see if I can change her hair color. That's the part that's just a little weird to me. And I feel like changing the color would be not as hard. Right? Oops. Even if it were like a bit less saturated or something. Color's fine. Length, found in a long time. Editor is amazing. Adds more dialogue. Useful. She wants to keep it all hush hush. Nice. It's the length. I don't know. Because like most of the time when you see her, actually, she will be in a hood. So you can't even tell like what her hair is with Mika.
Yes?
Unfortunately, if I change I can try changing her hairstyle. Alright, well, she's supposed to be a sailor, so let's give her something. I'll say change hairstyle. Sailor. Because, I mean, if I'm going to learn how to change hairstyles, might as well have some fun with it, right? Alright, Aravanya. Traditional solution, braids. For sure. It looks like Ronald McDonald with straight hair. Looks a little different than how I remember Ronald McDonald, but you know what? You could be right. Like, that looks like it would be her identity. Like, she'd be called Volsey Crimson Braid. Right, because it's so striking. It'd be like the first thing that anyone notices about her.
Woman can't do if she puts her mind to it.
Alright, well, cool. Good luck. Arivanya. Place at me. 14127. Hi, Miss Lady. So she's also a shopkeeper.
All day long.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. She's the, I'm thinking of... What's her name? The thief lady. I think she looks fine. Just hangs out inside. Her hair's like kind of frazzled. She looks kind of mean. I think it's just high elves. Nah, she's fine. What's the name of the high elf shopkeeper in Windhelm, who's also in the Thieves Guild? You guys remember? You know who I'm talking about? Her name is... I can always just go to Riften. Hairstyle and the Sailor Lady. Change appearance, you can enter this race meeting, so the change in the file will be set later on in MO2. Neuranya. I think that is correct. Thank you, Sacroletius. Neuranya? Neuranya. Player dot place at me. 14123.
I don't haggle. If
There
you
she
want to
is.
know a price,
I like her appearance a lot. Pretty cool. Tell these high elf ladies, look, she really is going to step on you.
I travel more, but who wants to deal with all the soldiers these days?
I don't know. Not me, that's for sure. Alright, cool. Alright, now we got Eola. Eola's an interesting one because I have here, it's like Waiko looks great, Baijin may actually look weirder. Eola. Player.place at me. Oh, someone named Skiolang. 1990F. Island of Hotties.
You were young when you first tasted human flesh, weren't you?
Oh yeah, remember?
Your sister had died. An accident, of course. Then the hunger set in. Curiosity. What's the harm in just one bite? It's okay now. You found a friend who understands you. You can let go of your guilt.
I mean, she looks creepy. I'm actually digging the, I like the Waiko version better. Yeah, her mouth kind of has like a strange shape to it. Alright, let's go. Waiko. And then Wylandria. Right?
Brother or sister?
Wylandria. 19DEF. Yeah.
An accident.
Here she is. So now we're gonna
Hunger set.
pickpocket. Oh yeah, she's got absorb magic.
What's the harm in just
Pickpocket Wylandria. I'm gonna take her purple cowl. She look like this.
you found a friend
Nope.
who understands
That looks fine. Pretty cool. Not too ostentatious. She's a court wizard. Lipstick is very striking. Yes, it is. I don't think it's lipstick. It looks actually. There's no way it's not lipstick. It's like purple. All right, Wylandria, you're good. And now, Ugor, who we already looked at, didn't we? And she looks all messed up because I broke her. Place at me. 19E, 1A.
You should not be here, outsider.
You should not be here. Oh, I can't. What? We can kind of take a look at her face mesh again, though. Yeah, so her hair is broken, I guess, because there's no face gen data, and then there's no exported mesh. But so, all right.
You should not be here, outsider.
That's all of them. All right, goodbye. So everyone say goodbye to the island of hotties. And we're gonna quit out here. And who is the other orc? Borgak. That we can change the hair of. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pop back into, not that, into here. Because I feel like the face edits on like Borgak and Ugor are like, Baijin does a great job with the face edits. We just gotta change those hairstyles. So let's load that up. And then I'm gonna I'm gonna put in my notes here as well, really fast. Say Borgak. Borgak. Hair and face gen. Borgak. Change hair. Because she was the one, if I'm not mistaken, for Baijin that looked all like she's a war maiden, right? I'm sorry, if someone's a war maiden, I don't think that they should have hair like this, you know? That one's, I guess, alright. It's a bit saturated. Like, Lydia's looking... It's like, kind of her hair, I suppose, can be that long. Just they need to be wearing, like, helmets. It's too long. Lydia's, I don't know, that hairstyle looks pretty cool. But, like, Eola, like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, she's, like, literally, like, a model. Uthgerd. It's not terrible, because it's also kind of, like, done up, right? Jordis, it's fine. It's braided. It's looking cute. Rhea. Mjol. Like, that's just, there's no way. It's just like Shakira or something like that. You know what I mean? Okay, so, let's go to, where was she at? Where's I go? Borgak. Cool face. We'll change the hair. Like, I can't tell how long. It looks like it's supposed to be pretty long. Lydia is only a tier 2 follower. Oh, man. Yeah, War Barbie, for sure. All right, so there's Aniki. There's our girl. She looks just like we thought she would. So we got Borgak change hair, and then Ugor. I was going to say, that's not what her face looked like, so it looks way different. You have to, like, generate the whole thing again. Otherwise, I think it just reverts. Okay, cool. I mean, any other orcs? My swords don't lie. My swords don't lie, and I'm starting to kill you, boy. There she is. Damn, Lydia looking cute. Like, her hair's short enough to where I feel like it could reliably be up in, you know, like a helmet. God. Alright, so I think later, let me just, while I'm still here, and I'm not forgetting, let's go back to Eola and make sure that we revert her situation for sure. That's for true. Tutorial for real female Viking hair. Ooh. I'm afraid to watch YouTube videos now on the stream because they keep flagging me every time I watch one. And then it becomes like this big old thing. Eola. Okay, so actually, we're going to remove this record. And then we're going to remove the record. Wait, what? Oh, whoops. Okay, we're going to jump back here, and we're going to go Eola. Why did it take me away from the record, though? That doesn't usually happen. What am I doing? No. No. There we are. And now forward this cleanup script. And this. I was wondering, so object bounds are for collision generally. I'm like, do we need object bounds for like a person, or don't they automatically like derive it from somewhere? I don't know. All right, we good? Augmented flames, sure. Go ahead and get whatever perks you want. And yes, we don't want those anymore. And then I'll also change. What's her face? Voldsea's hair. It'll be. I'm interested to learn that skill, and it's a good reason to get me into the CK anyway. Excuse me, because I usually do not. All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up for this stream. If there's any questions you guys have for me, or anything else you'd like me to show off really fast before I go, please feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I'll probably call it and start looking for some peeps to raid. So that's always really fun. If you guys are still up for some Twitch watching, I'm going to go ahead and grab myself some lunch because I'm starving. Changing hairs isn't hard. Just pick one from a slider. Haha, Sacriletius, unless you're not joking. Show off your dance moves. That I can't actually do because I'm not wearing pants. You guys can't tell because I'm sitting down. But it's NSFT, not safe for Twitch. Changing hairs isn't hard. I mean like for other NPCs, right? Or is that a joke and I'm just slow on the uptake? Also, Nyata Stone Arm. Looking scary. Actually, a drop-down window. Oh, gotcha. But then I just mean, like, so you change the hair, right? And then don't you also have to export the face gen and the new hair mesh? And then that's what actually makes it show up? Because, like, I changed... What's her face? Ugor's hair. Oh, Wrath of Nature. Cool. I can take a look at that real fast. Jump to Ugor. So I changed her hair... right? And that also seemed to like revert the face changes as well, which was weird. But I don't know. I'll mess with it. I'll mess with it for show. And get rid of. I'll just keep this here for now. And get rid of those changes. There we go. YouTube video will help an art direction for hair selections. I will check it out for sure. Wrath of Nature. Let me take a look at that just right quick. Champion of Kindred SSC port. Whoa. This is the same one? Oh, these are two different mods. So I take it this was a... That's funny, they're like at the same time. Oh, wait, no. Why are these different? Screw more Twitch. I'm going to watch anime. That's what I'm going to watch when I'm eating. I was running back through season 1 of One Punch Man. I'm going to check it out. What? Wrath of Nature 2 Electric Boogaloo. What? Why are there two? Which is the one? For me to choose. Champion of... never seen One Punch Man. It's pretty cool. I hear Season 2 is not so great, and I was going to watch it anyway because I like Season 1 so much. Season 1 is a lot of fun. Am I crazy? Like, do you guys know the difference? Bennett. Maybe the posts are talking about this? A screenshot of... getting CTD. That's not good. This one has fewer posts and is newer. Bro, this is messed up. Uh-oh. One pump chump. That's what they call me. I don't understand. It looks like there's a fair amount of bugs, depending. One is the original, the other is an extension with more questline and transforms. I feel you. Because that's probably the original. And this is an extension. Okay, unless this one's the 4 new transformations with unique abilities. Or is this the one? This is like, how hard is it to make this clear? I don't mean to be a dick. Transformation spells. Rust Upon Us. Do you know which one is the... I'm assuming this one's... Because this one's newer. I'm assuming this is the expanded one. Requirements. Okay, so... No. What the heck? Am I dumb here? Or what's... Alright, well, I don't know. I mean, I'll add it to the list to check out for sure. Let's see what it actually does. Please be reminded players are required to finish the quest in order for the Okay, so this is the sequel, but you need both, is the idea. Continue on your journey as a druid in the sequel to the Wrath of Nature series. So they are different. That is, in my opinion, needlessly confusing. Like the naming conventions of this. So it's like Wrath of Nature, the Champion of Kinnereth is supposed to be a sequel. And so this one comes first. Build their old mods from LE since 2014. Right. Oh, what? Okay, well, okay, so what does it allow you to do? Oh, sorry, yawn. Sky Goddess Kinnereth is in need of your help with her champion that is Cheryl strayed away from the light. It is up to you to decide his fate and become the new champion yourself. Oh. Oh, that's pretty cool. Soar of the skies as a wasp. Stalk your prey as a spider. Maybe go out with rage as a were-lizard. Oh, shit. I mean, that sounds cool. Don't get me wrong. Why don't I... What can you turn into? 4 different trials. Powerful beasts. And it's also confusing because I think each one adds 4 things. So it sounds like they're talking about the same one. Okay. There's wolf... Or is it just a wolf that allows you like different elemental forms of being a wolf? It's kind of what it seems like. Try that half Khajiit race if you want. Sure, why not? Right before we go. Alright, well here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to download these just so I have them kind of, in the bin, so to speak. Because they do look cool. I like the idea of more transformations. Sounds like fun. It seems like it might need quite a lot of fixing. So it's definitely not going to be like a priority inclusion or anything. But, why not? Get out of here. Get out of there. Make sure I'm downloading. Appears that way. Got it. Okay. And then the other one is, what is it? Half Khajiit race? What is it called? Half. I'm just going to search that race. Oh, is this one? Is this one? Oh, man. That is some anime stuff right there. Almost rot. Is it possible for this to be... There's the post here. Is interbreeding between beast races and Menmer. This is for sure this is like some Final Fantasy. No more finger clipping. Still a seam, unfortunately. Kawaii Neko. Yeah, exactly. Anime Ev. But they are in the lore. Wow. Okay. Well, Connor's a bit of a lore expert as well. Valenwood. Connor, resident lore expert. Something like Lichdom. Amazing follower tweaks. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I want to see images. Oh, God. Can't look at that one. I'm afraid to scroll down. Wow. Look at them HP bars. Oh, and they run on all 4s? Look at that. Wow. It's canon, I think, but it isn't for everyone. I mean, it's pretty wild. You're talking about the transformations, right? Look at these Khajiit. Neko-chan. Well, it is interesting. I think I'm gonna hold off on this one for now. What is the idea behind these guys? Missy from the mod, Missy, if you know her, you can't disagree. She has an amazing look with a human face. I love that. From the mod, Missy's Tales of Trouble. If you know her, you can't disagree. She has an amazing look with a human face on a half Khajiit body. I mean, it's objective. You know what I mean? It's very cool. I think I'll hold off on this one for now. Anyway, if you guys got any more questions, any comments, feel free to levy them at me right now. If not, you can always, hit me up on MySpace, hit me up on Habbo Hotel. I'm super active there. And let's go ahead and see if we can find someone to raid. Great follower, Missy is the best. In the lore, there are several forms of Khajiit. Oh no, I'm gonna have to listen to myself. Okay, who do we got? Zero Period. We always go to Zero Period Productions. He's like, our Skyrim person though, and I feel like that's only appropriate. He's the only one who's streaming right now. Oh well, let's do it. If you guys don't know Zero Period, he's an awesome content creator. Well worth a raid. Oh shit, didn't mean to do that. Oh look, Urag. My favorite. Alright guys, here we go. Raid Zero Period Productions. Thank you for joining me as always. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'm gonna try and get a bunch of work done next week. I'll have even more stuff to show you guys as per usual. On TS lore is like the new moon for elven cats. Gotcha. Oh, interesting. Wow, it depends on the phase of the moons how they end up, huh? I had no idea. So much lore to behold. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me as always. Let's go ahead and get this raid ready to go. Haha, wow. Amazing. So good. All right. Thank you, and I will see you guys next week.